Tonight, under the lights at Nashville Super Speedway, it's just more than a race. It's a community coming together for a cause. Drivers from across the iRacing world through Charity Cup and Goat Locker Racing have logged in not only to battle for the win, but to make a difference for tonight's charity event. Close racing, generosity all collide for one of the fastest concrete tracks in motorsport. But tonight, victory is not the biggest thing, it's racing for a cause. Here tonight at the Rowdy 2000 All-Star Race, we bring together drivers from Charity Cup and Go Locker Racing for a big cause. My name is Samuel Yosef. I'm going to be your lead commentator, and I have Jordan on the opposite side of me. How are you doing today, Jordan?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. It's great to be here again for another edition of a Charity Cup series, but it's also great to kind of pop into a league that I was part of a couple of years back, Goat Locker Racing. Both leagues have a great group of guys, and I mean, Nashville, it's going to be kind of crazy. Concrete's kind of cool tonight, so should be gripped up, and these guys should be flying wild, and should be a ton of fun here for us.
Ton of fun indeed. Nashville being a concrete track will bring in a lot of tire degradation for these drivers to deal with, but we're under the lights, under cool weather. So I think we're going to see a nice 200 lap race. Looking at the track info right here, we are in Lebanon, Tennessee. Great countryside. 1.3 mile track. Banking looking at 14 degrees during the turns and 9 degrees in the front, so a constant turn for these drivers. And it's a tricky tri-oval, but I have a lot of fun at Nashville. I don't know about you, Jordan, but I think Nashville's one of those great tracks on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, if you take my hometown track and arguably kind of biased, my favorite track on the NASCAR schedule being Dover. It's like you take Dover and you just kind of grab it and stretch it a little bit and then add a little bit of a tri-oval. So, I mean, you're going to see multiple grooves that these guys are going to try to run. You're going to see some people try to pack air on the back of the spoiler and, any way that they can move forward because it's going to be hard to pass, once you get kind of into those degraded tires. Um, but it's gonna be cause for some possible calamity, some crazy chaos, and I mean these guys know how to race. They know how to be clean, but there's only so much you can do when the car's kind of out of control on you.
Out of control indeed. But looking at the race length tonight, we got 200 laps, no stages, so pure old school NASCAR racing for us tonight. 4 tire sets available for all these drivers, so pit stops are going to be critical for those drivers if they want to make a difference tonight. 2 green-white checkered attempts if we need it for tonight. 100% fuel and everybody on the same setup tonight, so it's an even playing field for everybody. It's really going to come down to who's the best with their tires and who really can make those critical decisions at the end and get the win.
Yeah, I really love when we do these open setup or fixed setup races, simply because these guys do their best to find every little tent that they can, and they really have to figure out what works for the truck, not what works for them.
Definitely, indeed. Well, we do have a few messages to roll through before we get started. So we're gonna put those up, and we'll be right back after that.
To start tonight's pre-race ceremonies, we start with our invocation, given tonight by Charity Cup Series owner Curtis Mitchell.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to get some drivers out here on the track and race for dozens of good causes. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to lead this organization, just the fruit that you've been able to bear through this. I thank you for all the drivers and the sponsors and the spectators that have been involved over the last 5 months. I pray that you continue to grow this organization so we can continue to put on entertaining events and raise lots more money for charity. I pray that you keep all of our emotions in check, as it will be a intense race. I pray that you would be glorified and magnified, and that those who come in contact with Charity Cup Series would ultimately see you, and they would wonder why it's different, why the culture is different, and it would be because of you, Lord. Thank you for this opportunity. Pray this in your name. Amen.
And now, singing the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome Ben Tainai.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the river so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Drivers, start your engine!
He served in the army, we lost his right eye, but he flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my
Hey everybody, NASCAR driver Anthony Alfredo here.
Hey everybody, Brennan Gaughan here.
Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR on Fox.
All the drivers competing this year are supporting a great cause because this is racing monthly on iRacing that ultimately supports great causes.
Go out, enjoy, be safe, and have fun.
Good luck this season. Have a great time. Thanks for what you do, giving money to charity and getting a little iRacing in.
This is a great cause, a fun way to utilize the iRacing community in service to have fun competing against one another and doing good. I hope you guys enjoy racing in the Charity Cup Series. And hope to see you on the track.
Well, after those great messages, we got the starting grid for this race in pole position. Craig Bontrager takes it with a blazing 30.3. Curtis Mitchell in second. Starting at third, we got Jonathan Cofield with Dylan Chavis on his outside. Starting at fifth, we got Brian Bogner and TJ Elaine starting at sixth. Going into seventh, we got Christopher Pendle and Ray Massey starting in eighth. And then in ninth, we got Aiden Laney and then Jake Ham on his outside running out the top 10.
In 11th, it's going to be Joe Manella and Patrick Craven in 12th. Stephen Ray and Jacob Lake going to be in 13th and 14th here. Going to be followed by Jamie Libke and Garrett Kinder. 17th and 18th going to be Charles Abert and Adam Thompson. 19th going to be Justin Crittenden and Chris Rude.
And then going into the back half of the field, we got Jacob Davis starting at 21st with Dakota Cole starting on his outside. John Herman comes in at 23rd with JJ Gisa starting at 24th. John Gowen is going to start in the 25th position with Bill Mulfield coming in the 26th position. And then our last car to round out the field will be Michael Newton for this. Well, Jordan, it looks like we are going to have an extended start, it looks like they extended it a little bit, so we're going to get the drivers at least a little time to make sure the tires are warmed up. Pace car lights should be going out once it's across the start-finish line. What's your thoughts on tonight's race with 200 laps?
I think a big thing, and I know it's said a lot in every single race, but it's patience. You got to be patient. You got to, not overdrive your truck. You've just got to kind of have that mentality to just kind of let the truck come to you and, let the race come to you at that too. Because, I mean, like you said, at the top of the hour, we're going to have tire degradation, and it's going to be crazy chaos when you get loose, and just got to be patient, man.
Patient indeed, and apologies to everyone. The extended start was for the missing man formation for our dear Kyle Busch that we lost over the last week. Once again, to the Kyle Busch family, all his kids, his wife. We truly, truly miss Kyle Busch, and it's really great to see these guys out here bringing remembrance and honor to Kyle Busch.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely took the world by shock. And Rowdy, I mean, Rowdy is the guy that you didn't like, but then later on in his career, you started to love him, and you know he was a heck of a racer. And as we get ready to go, that pace car is going to make that hard left turn on the pit road. As we get ready to get Rowdy here in Nashville for the Charity Cup and GLR All-Star race here from Nashville.
Drivers are out, and Craig Bontrager with a great launch, but on his outside, Curtis Mitchell is with him going into turn 1. Looks like we do have a couple cars side by side. Drivers first and second really going at it.
Car in the wall
Holy
on the backstretch
jeez.
already, nosed in. I'm not sure. Oh, there's a lot more than I saw. The 20, I saw him nose into the wall there. Couple more guys doing some landscaping. You see the 20 get loose and a nose into the wall. Looks like Libkey gets sideways as well. And that's kind of the thing that we've seen not only here early in this one, but we saw this in the races earlier this weekend. Real kind of just get loose and snap off corner.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going on that high side, you really have to watch on the throttle. And it looks like he goes right on the throttle and just goes extremely loose and then collects everybody else behind him.
How
Really
about
unfortunate.
the 13 there, just just barely getting by the nose of that 20 before the 20 went back to the outside wall. Just kind of avoiding that traffic barely and still able to keep that 13 truck of Garrett Kinder straight.
Yeah, that is incredible driving by him. I'm really shocked to see that happen, but lucky for him, but unlucky for a few other drivers. And with the race, I believe all the drivers get one fast repair. So it looks like some of those drivers may be going into pit lane to take that fast repair. Maybe not. It is a long race, but really not the start that some of these drivers wanted.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you got to kind of figure out what you really want to do. Do you want to burn that fast repair, early, or do you want to kind of, I mean, for the 20 there, I mean, he had to have basically burned that. I mean, you went nose first into the wall, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was motor damage on that one. But some of those other guys that, in the back, just kind of lost a piece of body work or something of that nature that, truck's still moving forward fast enough, you might want to kind of save it just in case you get caught up in something later. But one of those dang if you do, dang if you don't moments.
Dang if you do, dang if you don't is the correct term that I would use for that. But with that start, Curtis Mitchell did get past Craig Bontrager before that yellow came out. So Curtis Mitchell will inherit the lead for the start. I'm not 100% sure if drivers do get choice of where they want to start in the restart. But Curtis, with the best start he could possibly do, Bontrager did have a crazy lap for qualifying. So I'm sure he would love to be in front of him for this.
Yeah, I mean, just having the restart under your control alone is massive. You're able to kind of play a little bit of a game. You can wait, you can go as soon as you enter the box. You kind of play around with it and catch everybody off guard and get yourself out in front. You don't have to worry about, like at places where Talladega and Daytona or Michigan, like where you got to stay in the draft. Here, you just kind of haul it and haul the mail away from everybody and try to get as far as you can and flip that switch from running to saving and, make the run a good run.
Definitely. Well, the pace car lights are out, Jordan, so it looks like the drivers are going to get in their double formation. Hopefully we can get a couple laps, maybe even more in this 200 lap race. It is a long race and fuel will be the strategy. I do have to check again. I know it's 100% fuel, so I'm not 100% sure what the laps will be on a tank for these drivers. But coming around into turn 3, looks like Curtis Mitchell out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, running for Souls for Jesus, will take the green flag as we get ready. Pace car goes down into the pit road. Curtis Mitchell has all the control. When will he go in this restart zone? Waiting and waiting and waiting, and Curtis is off. Great launch by Curtis Mitchell.
Feels like forever getting to that restart zone there as soon as that pace car hands off the control. I feel like it's a little bit further than most tracks, but Curtis able to show the poise and be patient enough to get to it, and now you see there already almost a half a second ahead of your second and third place of Cofield and Bontrager.
Yeah, Bontrager and Cofield going at it, both from GLR. Cofield, the reigning Premier Series truck driving champion out of GLR, so he has a point to prove out here tonight while racing for a cause. Gets past Bontrager and takes that second place.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the longer you're side by side too, the more happy that lead car is going to be. So if you can make the pass as quick as Cofield did there and get by the truck in front of you, it's going to work in your favor a ton more than if you sat and battled side by side, put yourself in that deficit. It looks like last time around, Curtis Mitchell was the fastest on track with a 31.98 to Cofield's 32.15.
Definitely the fastest, but we do have to remind people that this is a 200-lap race without stage brakes, so tire saving will be key for these drivers. They don't get that chance to slow down, get fresh tires. It's whenever that caution comes out or green flag pit stops, they're gonna get those tires. So I do expect these times to go down just a little bit with the drivers slowing up, but we're looking at the back of the pack. It looks like the car 29 of Bogner. Almost a little contact right there. Battle for the 9th position, getting hot. Will Bogner take it 3 wide? I hope he doesn't, but he decides smartly not to.
Yeah, these guys, like, again, you got to get to that patience level where you can just kind of take your breath in, kind of let everything come to you, and again, long race, plenty of time, and just have to continue to work at it. It looks like Cofield now going to the point here over Mitchell. Mitchell going to try to go to that outside, maybe try to pull a little air. But Cofield slides up in front of him as they head down into turn 1.
Yeah, Cofield takes the lead, and this is really great to see. Cofield, Mitchell going at it, 2 of the best drivers from each league, and that was really the purpose of this charity event. Not only for a good cause, but drivers of the same caliber really going at it for the love of competition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, each person picking a dedicated charity of their choice to follow and support and promote here as well. And it's been a great little season so far. I know that they're going to start doing point system here in the next few weeks here. I think first race in June is going to be a start of every 2-week season for these guys that are regulars in the Charity Cup Series to kind of have a Charity Cup at the end of the season. So we're going to be looking forward to that, as we see right here, the 19 and 94 side by side here. Really the only 2 guys that are fighting is Bogner gives a shove there to try to surge that 19 forward.
Yeah, surging that 19 forward, and I'm not sure if Bogner is playing the long game, but he is showing down 6 positions from that restart, from where he started actually. So maybe he's playing that long game, but it looks like he's had a really rough time on that last restart. But settles into 10th place, chasing Aiden Laney for 9th. And I'm very surprised, I'm very surprised that these drivers are just taking their time with it, but we have a battle for 3rd place right now. Oh my God. Ray Massey going after Bontrager.
And this is the guy that I would be watching here if you've seen the Charity Cup Series at all. Ray Massey, one of the fastest in the Charity Cup Series as of late, 3 consecutive wins, and certainly looking to keep that streak alive. I know it's an all-star race. I know they in the real world they'd be like, well, it's not four in a row, but to him it would be 4 consecutive races in a row that he could pull off and win here, as he sits here in 3rd, 5 positions forward from where he started here.
Yeah, and Ray is, he has the advantage right now over Bontrager, taking that bottom line, keeping his tires in a better position than what Bontrager is. And Bontrager, he's going to have to make that decision real quick if he wants to let Ray pass and get the bottom again.
Oh.
But I think a yellow
Ham,
has just came out.
Jake Ham, I believe.
What a great shot.
Sitting in turn 3. He had a little help there.
Yeah, little help, but
somehow
insane.
does not collect anybody else. Joe Manella to his inside here. They just get kind of collided here. somehow, usually when you come up backwards onto the race surface, that usually means you're grabbing someone. Looks like TJ Elaine, I believe that was the 33, just barely squeaking by the 87 there as he merged back up onto that racing surface.
Yeah, I don't know who the truck was that avoided him at the last second, but I'm sure he has to change his pants after that. That was a close call from hitting the backside of J Cam right there. But great to see that no other drivers were affected by it. I think Jamie Licky did spin out a little bit to try to avoid J Cam, but doesn't look like any car took any damage from it. I know Jamie Licky, after that first incident, really does not want to get damage again.
Absolutely not. When you see a car coming back up the track like that, it's one of those, it is going to hurt. You just kind of watch it and hope that you can, kind of get, because you don't want to, turn too quickly or, too abruptly, because then you'll throw yourself around and throw yourself into the outside wall. So you try to just kind of squeak upwards away from that truck and essentially just pray at that point.
Pray is the correct term to use there. But it looks like those pit stops, it looks like majority of the field, it's still early in the race that don't need to come down. A few cars do come down, maybe to change tires, fix some damage still, or get some fresh tires going. But looking throughout the field, Cofield did still have the lead going into that. So Cofield will have the control to restart. And with this type of track, short track racing, having that control on the restart is key for anything.
Oh, 100%. Like we said before, just having the control and being able to launch, first, it gives you that gap from the trucks behind you. Let them figure it out. Let them sort out who's going to be where. You know that you're going to be at the point and trying to step away, and just kind of put yourself in a different zip code away from them.
Different zip code, indeed. Well, looking throughout the field, I think our biggest loss leader right now is Patrick Craven. Well, J Cam actually is a little bit lower with 13 positions lost. Patrick Craven down 12, and it looks like Adam Thompson's down 7. But I'll try to see if I can get any more information off of that. Our biggest mover, Ray Massey, like you said, Ray Massey is on the move right now.
Yeah, and also John Gowan. John Gowan started back in 26th, up to 15th right now too. So quite a few guys being able to shuffle themselves forward here.
Now we're about to be 20 laps into this 200 lap race. What do you think the drivers are thinking as they get ready for this restart?
Well, certainly I know there's got to be someone within this field that's thinking, how can I flip myself onto a different schedule, and that's going to be beneficial too. I mean, the winning strategy is not a winning strategy until the checkered flag flies. But what gets you into that position to possibly have that winning strategy and maybe get off sequence to the guys around you as we get ready to go back green flag racing here, is Jonathan Cofield's going to roll into that restart zone and fire off here. This green flag back in the air.
Green flag in the air, and looks like Cofield with a great launch. Curtis Mitchell right behind, almost 3 wide in the back between Brauntrager and Ray Massey. Like you said, is on the move again. He wants to be in the front. He wants control of this race, and he's not going to wait for anybody else.
Absolutely not. I mean, just constant moving forward for that 26 machine there. My bad. As he keeps trying to charge forward and get to that race lead. I think the race lead is just obviously you want to be there at the end of the race, but it's also the better place to be just because you're not in dirty air. I think the air around you just causes the truck to drive completely different than maybe expected, and certainly getting to that clean air and letting the truck be free and breathe is going to give you that better feel and really set your sails there on some of these guys.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more with that. But as we were talking, it was a huge battle for the top 10 positions. I think 9th through 13th were all in a jumble. It is a busy field right now in those back positions. And if I was one of those drivers, I would be looking my eyes in 4 different directions, not trying to get hit. in these opening laps.
Yeah, I mean, with the multiple cautions that we've had, you know, the best time to or best place to make up positions is on restarts. Get a good restart, and you know, can find a position or two. It's a lot easier than trying to gain that position by running someone down and then battling them for that position. So if you can, you know, jump and get, you know, 1, 2, maybe even 3 spots on a restart, it really helps you move that program further than the expected timeline you have in your head.
Definitely. And looking 3 wide into that, oh my God. That's as close as you can get. Hits off the wall for Joe Manella, almost into Dylan Chavis, but they come away cleanly away with it. Still going that battle into turn 1 with Garrett Kinder right behind, hoping to get some positions out of them. These boys are really going at it right now.
It's almost like Garrett Kinder had a thought process of we're 3 wide and I don't want to be 3 wide, and just kind of backed out of that a little bit there, allowed Chavis to kind of move down a little bit and kind of keep themselves from getting into something there, because that was close.
Close indeed. And Dylan Chavis, you know, I've been watching him since the start of this race. He really strikes me as a guy that really wants to take his time before he starts moving through this field. I know he's down about 6 positions, but he's been very calculated in his move so far. And I'm going to be watching out for the Easley, South Carolina driver if he's going to do anything with it.
Still side by side here with the 99 of Joe Manella, and he's moving forward here now. Was just 3 wide, almost off the wall here, now going around the 29 of Bogner, as Chavis also now looking to go around the outside of Bogner.
And Eric Kinder right behind. I know he doesn't want to go 3 wide, but he's thinking, hey, I'm a little faster than you guys. You know, let's pick up the pace a little bit. And he gives a huge push to Dylan Chavis into turn 3 and gets that pass done behind Brian Bogner into turn 3.
I definitely thought he was going to be a little more aggressive there as they went into turn 3 once they cleared Bogner, but just again kind of showing a little bit of restraint, a little bit of patience. They're not forcing the issue to the inside of that 6 truck of Chavis.
Definitely. And looking through the rest of the field, there's a battle for 16th right now between Charles Abert and Chris Rude. Battle's heating up right here. Jake Cam was the cause of the last, well, not the cause, but it was part of that last caution. Looks like he's back in the fold of things, starting to pick up a couple positions. But a good battle right now for the top 15 between Abert and Davis. Abert is a guy I have driven a lot with him. Really cool guy, a retired Army veteran, races for as many causes as he can. Really good guy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in on that, but a little squirrely there as he jumps in front of the 28 of Davis there. Kind of a little bit of a frightening action there.
Yeah. And a lot of these drivers now are on 25 lap old tires, and with these trucks and how difficult it could be to drive with older tires, I know these drivers are starting to fight that wheel going through the corners. Well, we're 26 laps in. Cofield still in the lead. We got a little battle right now. Kinder and Chavis running in that top 10. Both these drivers are really trying not to hurt each other, but also want to move forward as best as they can. And then also we have Bogner trying to put his name into the mix as well. And we have a pass for 11th place right now. Oh, a little contact.
Bogner side by side there. That was terrifying. Bogner just trying to keep from falling.
Now, Jordan, I usually run the next gens on iRacing, and I know with the aero dependency of the next gens, even going side by side will make the car tight. I'm pretty sure with the trucks it's the same feeling as they go side by side into a corner.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the track. With the truck, I mean, some racetracks, it feels like that truck is so solid to the track that you're never going to get loose. And then some tracks you go to, and it's like you're driving on ice. It looks like Chris Rude all over the back of Davis there, shoving him forward. But yeah, certainly these trucks can be a handful anytime you come to a racetrack. And, you know, the next gen, I feel like the next gen is a little bit more on the loose and free side, but certainly can have that handful. As Massey is to the inside here of Bontrager, trying to move forward still. As this front group's not really able to break away as far as, I maybe would have thought here with Cofield and Mitchell just 1-2 side, right behind each other, and the same thing for Bontrager and Massey there, right in line, just a little bit off of them.
Yeah, these top 4 cars, second and fourth is not really the place to be right now with that dirty air, but they are in control. They don't really have to push. It is a long race, 30 laps in, so I'm sure those drivers are just taking away those laps, making sure everything's okay. But a good battle going on between Bontrager and Massey right now. I know, like you said, Massey is fast. Oh, you got a battle between Aber right now, and lo and behold, J Cam. J Cam was down and out, but he's coming back, and he's coming back with a vengeance right now, taking that position away from Jacob Davis right now, or John Gowen. I apologize. Is going to go after Charles Aber after that.
Yeah, and for him, if he can make that pass on the 7 of Abert there, he's got a lot of open track to really run fast times and run down that little pack. There is a little bit of space between them and Libke in the 14th spot. So if he can get up and past that 7, he's going to have some clean track to maybe make a run, get himself a little further here. Got to be thinking maybe a stop here within the next, certainly like 20 or so laps. So anytime you can make up on the racetrack and can certainly help your situation once you come back onto the racing surface after the pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking at the stats. J-Cam does have 15 lap or 16 lap fresher tires than the rest of his competitors around. So he is going to have some better exits. But Charles Aber doing a good defense right now of that position. But I expect J-Cam to get past him in a lap or two. Oh, as Aber hits the wall. Aber hits the wall. Sorry, it kind of caught me off guard, but Aber hits the wall, which is not going to help on his defense of J-Cam. J-Cam sees that position open up, goes up, looks on the inside. Will J-Cam send it in? And J-Cam sends it in. Knowing J-Cam, he will take that position. There's a famous quote going around Goat Locker right now. J-Cam sees a line, he's taking it. And he takes it for that. He takes it for that 15th position. Well, Charles Aber is going to fight back a little bit, but
yeah,
I think he won't.
Yeah, something I kind of want to touch on there with that pass there. You saw Ham just to the inside of Abert as they went to the corner, but there was still a significant amount of space between the two trucks as they went into the corner. As we get deeper in this race, I think you're going to start seeing a lot of guys really pushing that envelope of how tight can I run this guy into the corner and really try to take the air off of that spoiler and kind of upset that truck that they're fighting. Because when you get down to it, if you're sitting in 11th and you want that 10th place spot, you're going to still run it like it's the race lead and get that position. So look for, as we get past the halfway, 3/4 mark, of these guys to really start running tight. As right here, got a 2x2 here as Link goes in behind Bogner there. Chavis and the 99 of Manella still side by side as they go down into turn 1.
Yeah, you make a great point, especially with the aero games that these drivers will play as the race goes further on. Right now the tires, they're a little bit old, but not too old. So these drivers, as they get close, almost hitting the wall. We have a little blink out, but he's right back. These drivers are going to experience a lot of tightness going around in these corners with older tires, and will introduce possibly even hitting the wall out of 4, which is a really common spot for drivers. Possibly giving them wheel damage, which would hurt their racing more.
You see now side by side Link and number 4 there of Stephen Ray. This little pack of 5 here is fighting strong as now Bogner tries to push Manella forward. Now the 4 of Stephen Ray going to look to the inside of Bogner. This little 5 group of trucks just keep flip-flopping who's where. Chavis and Manella able to hold the front pack of that. Now Bogner might have had an opening there for a quick second over Manella, but Manella going to slide up the track in front of him there.
Yeah, it's definitely real close racing right now between them. And looking behind that pack, Jamie Lipke, after that early incident, has caught right back up to the top 10 drivers. So Jamie Lipke, after a difficult start, really starting to show her abilities around this track. Excuse me. Going through this though, it is a really tight battle, and honestly, in my opinion, I wouldn't be trying to battle that hard. But some of these drivers you're more familiar with. Is this common between the league?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty common, but we usually run a little bit shorter, not by a ton, but just by a handful of laps. But, also the competition across the entire league is so stout and so strong that, every single second, every tenth of a second on track is valuable. It's like gold. You know, you want to get every bit that you can, and these guys are so on point with their pit stops as well. Like no one really slides through boxes or gets any kind of penalties or any of that. So you're not making up a ton of time when you do your pit stop. So it really comes down to, can you find a strategy that maybe gets you a little bit faster, throughout the run, kind of get on different tire levels than some people, and racing hard on track, fighting for every single inch that you can. And you know we've gone super clean sometimes, and you've had a couple times where we've had a little bit of a mess, but these guys are just hard competitors, and they just love to be out here racing, and it's put on some fantastic shows throughout the series so far.
I love to hear that. Love to hear that, man. Jamie Lipke, as we were talking about her, is back in this battle going into the 13th position. She's starting to make a hard charge through the field with similar tires as these drivers. So maybe she was holding out a little bit on going through the field, and it feels like this is time now. I believe with the fuel, 100% fuel tanks, these drivers have at least 90 laps of fuel. So we're hitting around that 45 lap mark soon. Drivers are going to start making moves to put themselves in good position for pit stops a little bit later.
Yeah, and I know how hard that Libke works inside that truck. From when she started, or well, I should say when I started my first season with Goat Locker Racing, to now. I mean, it's a complete different upswing. I think TJ, is that TJ? I don't know. I cannot see that number, but yeah, it was TJ Elaine making a pit stop possibly, or is that the 17? 17 of
Justin Crittenden, I think, went into the pits.
There we go. I have a terrible eyesight apparently. But,
no, it's all good.
What I was saying there about Libke is just watching her grow within the truck has been phenomenal. Just from running in the back, being safe, just kind of learning how to be faster, and now sitting here right now in the 14th position, certainly moving forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, working with Lipke was actually one of the ones that first taught me iRacing, and I've gone on to do bigger things, but a lot of my foundation came through Lipke with her learning as well. So Lipke's a really great person, really great person to talk to, really great person to know. So big shout out to Jamie Lipke right now as she goes through the field. We got a battle right now. I think that's Dylan Chavis and company. Oh, yeah, I see why. The 17 on fresh tires is causing a little havoc. Lap traffic causing a little havoc through the field right now. Well, 45 laps in, Jonathan Cofield, my pick for this race win tonight, is controlling the field, running 31.9s. So pretty consistent pace throughout the top five right now. Track temp looks like it is still around 83 degrees for the track temp, so a little bit warmer than what we started. But Cofield in prime control right now, and like I said, I think this guy's gonna win. This is our champion. I'm gonna root for the GLR guys, but a lot of these Charity Cup guys have really impressed me. These guys are really, really good right now.
Yeah, I mean, you see about a second and a half of fall off here, and part of my thinking here for, Curtis or Bontrager or Massey, do you maybe try to come in a little earlier and try to do a little bit of an undercut, maybe hope that Cofield stays out just one extra lap so you can kind of make up some time on him? I think that to beat Cofield, you're going to have to do it on pit road. I think you're going to have to find a different strategy, because if you just run the same exact pit strategy as Cofield, if you go into the pit every time you see him pit, I do not think that you're going to be able to beat him. I think you're going to have to find a way to get off sequence, find a way to get some time on his truck, and you're really going to have to push. I think it's going to be, you're going to have to make up a tenth at least, per lap if you get off sequence with him. It's going to have to be done on pit road.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even with the next gen cars, with it looks like the tire degrade isn't really large right now for these drivers. So when these drivers pit, and as I'm talking, Dylan Chavis almost got loose coming into 3.
Looks like Ray Massey is going to be the first to dive down pit road. So now off sequence. This is where I think you kind of force the hand of Cofield, Mitchell, and Bontrager, and as well as Elaine. Again, Elaine, another one of those fast trucks in the Charity Cup Series. You're going to kind of maybe force their hand, maybe make them come down a lap, sooner than they may have wanted.
Yeah, and I like that move from Ray Massey. Get fresh tires. Little contact between the 4.
Here comes Chavis and Kinder now too. Those guys weren't able to get away from each other for a while as well. So it looks like
I think the 4 almost was pit road. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if he going to get a penalty for that or not. As an unsafe pit entry. Have to keep an eye on that, see if he makes another trip down pit road.
Yeah, I'm looking at this timing screen right now. It doesn't look like a black flag was given, so he might have just got it at the last second, but looks like green flag pit stops are open. Cofield in prime position, controlling this field. He can pit whenever he feels ready, but with Steven Rea taking that pit stop, and I believe Bontrager and TJ Allen are still out there, it's really a flip of a coin when they want to do it, but they don't want to hang out too long where that deficit really is eaten away with those fresh tires versus old tires.
Yeah, and looking right here at, I believe that's Ray Massey. Yeah, Ray Massey stuck in this little bit of, not lap traffic to him, but behind that little bit of a slower group. That's where he wants to get through fast enough to maybe make some strides here on Cofield, as Cofield's still out on the racing surface here. As now it looks like, I think that's Manella. Manella, yeah, right down in front of that 23 truck of Massey. If Massey can get up there and past Bogner here cleanly and make a run after Cofield, it's going to flip that position relatively quickly, put Massey in a prime position. He starts hunting down now this front 4 here.
Yeah, looking at
front 2 now. Actually, I was looking at the wrong name.
No, you're all good. Looking at this 3-wide battle between Lipke and Hamdo, last lap Ray Massey was a 31.2, Jonathan Cofield was a 32.1. So about a second difference, almost a second difference right now for these drivers. And like I said, as we watch this battle, the longer that Cofield stays out there and Ray eats up into that deficit, the more it's going to hurt Cofield by staying out. But I'm talking about our GLR champion, so if he knows what to do, it's probably these green flag pit stops.
Exactly. And I mean, the only thing that would hurt Cofield in that manner is he might have to run just a tad bit harder than he would like to, keep that as he comes down, as Cofield comes down now, might have to run a little bit harder this run just to catch up to Massey, depending on how far Massey ends up out front here. Depending on how this cycle goes, we'll have to wait until everything kind of resets here. As TJ Lane, Bogner, and Libke all still out on track. I think Ham and Thompson, Abert, and Craven, those are all the guys that I think are still out here, have not made a stop. Thompson and Ham down lap 14, so going to probably stay out a touch bit longer than some of these guys here.
Yep, exactly what I was thinking. Jake Ham still with a really good comeback right now after his early incident. A little bit fresher tires than the rest of the field after that lap 14 pit stop, so he's going to stay out a little bit more. As I just saw Cofield come right out in front of Bontrager. So Bontrager and Cofield are close right now, and I think TJ Allen just came into the pits. Looks like, yep. TJ Allen into the pits right now.
Trying to look here at this timing and scoring. Ray Massey currently at 1.3 seconds ahead of Curtis Mitchell and sitting about 5.2 seconds ahead of Jonathan Cofield. So Massey able to flip that, but again, Massey going to be on a little bit older equipment here by about 6 laps to Cofield. So, you know, Cofield going to have the strength to run down the 23 here, but, you know, it's going to be how much do you have to use up to get to him?
Yeah, how much you have to use up, and also, you know, looking at times from when they were growing before the pit stops, all the drivers were running pretty much consistent times. So unless there's a huge swing in time, it might be easy for 3 wide for the lead right now. Lipke and Chavis go Wagner, I mean.
Well, 3 wide once again right away there. Stephen Ray going to come through. I think those guys just getting a lap back, if I'm not mistaken. They're getting it back the hard way by passing the front half, the leaders of Libke and Wagner. As these two continue to sit out here and fight for this race lead.
Yeah, fighting for this race lead, and this would be a bad time for a yellow to come out for a lot of this field. So I know some of these drivers on older tires want to get those laps led, get those in, maybe hope for a caution to come out. But with these other drivers on fresher tires, it could cause a situation that nobody wants to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think for this front group here, you've kind of made the bed. You know, a lot of these guys that are, you know, already getting up and past you and getting their lap back, you know, they're still a full track behind you, but they're on the same lap. So they're all going to be cars that you watch go past you as you come down pit road. But I think you're at that point now. You've already made your bed. You kind of have to lie in it, as now you see Link going to the inside of these two to get his lap back.
Yeah, Link going in, and especially with these drivers on fresher tires, trying to pass these cars on older tires, especially going in like turns 2 and turns 3 and 4.
TJ Elaine
don't want
right there as Libke tries to throw a block. I don't think it was an intentional block. I think she just wanted to move up the racetrack, allow these guys through. But TJ,
yeah, definitely.
TJ on a warpath with his drive off that corner there.
Yeah, he wants to catch up to that field.
Yeah, Charles, Libke sideways off the corner of Wagner, able to keep it under control. Now Abert down pit road, just 5 trucks that have not made a stop here yet.
Going 3 wide right behind Libke.
These guys are definitely I thought Manella was for sure gonna get the corner of that 87 machine there.
Yeah, we have a battle for the lead, and we have drivers trying to get back on the lead lap. You know, chaos will ensue as these drivers fight out for the lead, and going almost 3 wide. Jake Ham, I know he's not trying to block, but wait, I know he wants to get out of the way of these cars with fresh tires.
Wagner desperately wants pit road here, I think. Yep, there he goes.
Yeah, smart call for him to take the back entrance, especially with all those cars right there. But it's very hard to pit in that. So Wagner down to the pit road. Jamie Lipke will assume the lead on lap 65.
Ella gonna get his lap back here. That's just going to leave 3 cars right now that are 3. I keep saying cars. I hate when I do that. 3 trucks here without making a stop. Hammond Thompson down lap 14. Libke down lap number 2. So, I mean, Libke showing that you can go very far here on a tank of gas as Libke makes that turn down to go down pit road. Just leaves Hammond Thompson here to hash it out. But I think
Well, look,
Libkey definitely showing. I mean, you can at least go 63, 64 laps on a tank of
yep,
fuel, and that's if she got fuel on lap 2. But
yeah,
you might see somebody really push that last stop and try to make it, go the distance. If we stay green, I mean, certainly you always see people trying to use every drop of fuel, and I certainly think that could be a case here tonight.
definitely. And with all that happening, Ray Massey, Curtis Mitchell have caught up to each other. Ray Massey came down on lap 49. Curtis Mitchell came down on lap 51. So a 2 lap tire difference. But times are similar, almost similar, about a little bit 3/10 difference between the drivers right now. And Curtis Mitchell definitely wants to get past Ray Massey as fast as possible because Jonathan Cofield is on the prowl for them.
Yeah, Cofield just sitting about 2 seconds off the race. Well, what will turn into the race lead at some point once Thompson and Ham make their decisions to come down pit road. Sitting just 2 seconds off these guys, so he's making incredible time. Last time we checked in, he was about 5 seconds off of Massey. Now just under 2.5 seconds. So certainly making time. The last time by, though, ran identical time to Curtis Mitchell and just a tad bit, and I mean ever so tad bit, slower time than Massey. So maybe he's just trying to preserve a little bit here too as well.
Yeah, preserve a little bit. And, well, if we look at it, the drivers did about 50 to 55 laps. So we have probably another 30, 35 laps until these drivers come back down again. And, this is the beauty of, straight up old school racing, 200 laps. You really have to start thinking about, 50, 60 laps into the future. You don't have a stage rig to really help you in those situations.
Right, and I think that's something that, with Libkey, with her staying out, that's something definitely that at least me as a racer, I would be sitting there looking at, okay, I came down lap 51 or 55 in the case of these three of Massey, Mitchell, and Cofield. Those guys came down then, but I just saw, Libkey go 62 to 64 laps. I might start thinking, okay, maybe this time I'll go 5 more and, see how that works, and then set yourself up for what you really want to do on that last stop or two.
Yeah, Jamie Lipke, 17th currently, but as you were just saying, Jordan, did stay out the longest, about 63, 64 laps. So definitely on a way different tire strat than most drivers, and it could pay off dividends in the end. We'll have to wait and see. But Jamie Lipke out of Phoenix, Arizona, really showing.
Yeah,
and
Adam
it looks
Thompson,
like,
yep, Adam Thompson going to make his pit stop, so it leaves just Jake Ham out here. I imagine that if we saw Thompson already pitting, we might see Ham in this time or next, which would hand the race lead over to to Ray Massey, who's under fire from Curtis Mitchell. And again, as you said, Jonathan Cofield on a tear, just 1.3 seconds behind Massey.
on a tear indeed. And, Jake Ham did come in at lap 14, so he does have a little bit more time, but the longer he stays out, the longer it's going to hurt him. But at this point, you made your bed. You're in the situation that you are. You can only make what you got going forward. So big shout out to Jake Ham, doing really well, as we see Curtis Mitchell and Massey going at it for that net lead once Jake Ham pits, with Jonathan Cofield in the hunt behind.
Yeah, for my mindset right now, if I was Mitchell, I wouldn't really fight Massey for that race lead more than I would just, kind of push him forward and kind of work with him, even if he's not really working with you, just kind of finding ways to move him forward quicker, get a little bit of a bump draft, a little bit of a push, because you do have a good bit of arrow through here. So if you can get right on the tail end of him and, really kind of move the two of you forward and try to, work together to keep Cofield behind you, it's going to help you in the long run. Because, Cofield now with a little bit better of a tire advantage, if he's going to take you one-on-one, he's going to take you every time. If you guys kind of work together in a sense and kind of, never really go with Cofield, you might find yourself in a little bit better of a position later on in this race. Because it's going to come down to, how much faster can you be than Cofield. And certainly on the racetrack, not very many that are a ton faster, as he's about almost a half second faster the last lap around. This time we'll have to see the last time around as Jake Ham comes down pit road, going to give that race lead to Mitchell or Massey once they decide who's going to take it. Now it looks like it's going to be a 3-wide battle here if Cofield can get a good runoff. Cofield going to go down to the bottom here, 3 wide down the backstretch as they head towards turn 3. That gave me a little bit of a jolt, like it was the last lap for a second. Oh man, Cofield on a tear there, but Mitchell able to hold him off there for a moment.
Yeah, Cofield saw an opening right there and was like, look, if you guys are going to go side by side, I'm going to introduce myself to make this a little bit spicy. And he backs off just a little bit. I think he knows I have the tires to get past you guys, let you guys burn it up, and then I'll get past you once you guys are done.
And I don't know about you, but I know for myself, if I'm out here running and I know that the guy behind me's faster and I get that notification, inside, I'm like, he's there. So I'm going to start looking in my rear view mirror way more than I need to be looking out the windshield. And so for Cofield, that might just be a little bit of a setup there to just say, hey, like, I'm here.
Here indeed. And with them trying to battle, do have a lap car, the lap car of Aiden Thompson with fresh tires. So he can keep up with these drivers and actually put his nose where these drivers don't want it. So I'm sure they're going to get out the way for Aiden as fast as they can. But Cofield, knowing him, he's going to use him as a pick to get past. And it looks like he's doing just that, getting by Mitchell side by side into turn 1.
Even just getting that bit of a toe down the front stretch, pulling him past Mitchell or at least alongside Mitchell, it's going to allow him to, kind of put that 51 in a difficult position. And now Massey's looking in that rear view going, where do I go? Because both these guys were running me down at one point.
Yeah, Mitchell hits the wall a little bit coming out of turn 4. It's that tricky turn 4. That wall comes up real fast. He doesn't want to give up the lead, but it's still a long race. We're almost at halfway. If I was Curtis, I would be like, you know what? I figured out how to get in front of you through the pit stops, Cofield. If you get past me, it is what it is, but I'll get you back on the next pit stop.
No, 100%. And again, like you said, we're not even halfway yet, so you kind of got to pick and choose when you want to battle. I mean, us as competitors, in a natural sense, our brain is just, we kind of go blank and just go, the race lead's right there, I need it. But when you kind of,
I do.
I mean, I don't get to touch the lead very often, so when I have a chance for it, whether even though everybody's pitted already and I just kind of stay out, I go for that race lead just so I can have that little bit of that 1 or 2 laps next to my name that says lead. I'm chasing them, but you might want to kind of think here, with a race winning truck, you might want to just kind of maybe back her down, kind of go a little conservative and kind of save tire a little bit, get yourself a little further along, maybe set yourself up for a good final stop. I don't know if they would be able to get themselves into a window. They'd have to probably get around lap 140. That's still about 60 laps away, so probably still 2 stops here tonight, if I can do my quick math.
Well, while you do the quick math, Jonathan Cofield going for that lead. He wants to take the lead. J-Cam on fresh tires, gonna be just like how Robinson was, introduce that car that maybe Mitchell might turn around and be like, hey, my turn to use you as a pick. But J-Cam's gonna be on the outside and it's gonna block Mitchell right now. Jonathan Cofield wants to get past. J-Cam wants to get past to get his lead back going into turn 4. Almost contact between J-Cam and Ray Massey. And it looks like Jonathan Cofield will take the lead on this lap, but Ray Massey's still on the outside, trying to hold on to that lead with a little bit older tires than Cofield.
I think Ham just being there is giving Massey just enough of an extra run off corner exit to push him forward. Now Ham going to look down. Hopefully stays put. He's got the faster stuff, so if he just works with Cofield, gets Cofield by, he'll have a free pass past Cofield here, you know, with the fresher stuff, and that's what's going to happen is now side by side. Oh no, I thought Ham certainly was going to have that run there to get up and past Cofield, but no, still just kind of in tow.
Well, Jonathan Cofield can thank his GLR compatriot J Cam for helping him get past, because J Cam pushed him to the lead, and now J Cam is going to get his lap back. So business done, business earned. I'm sure there's going to be a thank you at the end of the race for Cofield if he ends up winning from that.
No, absolutely. Anytime you can get help from a car with fresher equipment, as Ham scrapes the wall just a bit there. Anytime you can use a tow off of somebody that's you know, either a lap down or just fresher on stuff than you, I mean, you're going to take it, and that certainly worked in Cofield's advantage there.
Definitely. So 86 laps done. Cofield going into turn 3. Looking at the back of the field, TJ Allen and Garrett Kinder. Garrett Kinder up 10 positions from his starting position. So Garrett Kinder has been on the move. Garrett Kinder, another GLR driver, really consistent, and has been a really good Grand National, or O'Reilly's. I hate saying it. It's the O'Reilly's now. But a really good O'Reilly's driver in our league. So I'm surprised to see him doing. Well, I shouldn't be surprised to see him doing well on the trucks. He's a really consistent driver, but TJ Allen wants to get back up to the front as well.
Yeah, to your point, I think I still call the series the Xfinity series. I think I still do that out of habit, but you know, these guys are all. I don't want to say anyone's like not fast here tonight. Everybody has their speed, and you know, we have a couple guys that are, you know, laps down, but those guys are either guys that got into some trouble early on, or you know, stuck it out and tried to go long on their stop, so they're kind of stuck a lap down trying to fight back for it. Everybody in this field has speed, and it's kind of crazy, and it's pretty awesome to see here.
Yeah, awesome indeed. And you know, even though we had a couple early cautions, we've been green flag racing ever since, and it's just a testament to how good these drivers are to keep it clean with this many cars on track. Like we saw cars with fresher tires trying to get their lap back versus cars trying to battle for the lead or battle for top 5 position and not making any contact. Just speaks to the level of skill right now between these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, just with the I don't want to say rough first couple of laps, but you know, with the quick cautions that we had there, we've been relatively good so far. I mean, that's easily a broadcaster's curse right there. But just as I said it, we almost have a collision there with the 33 of a lane, and I want to say it says 19, but I know that they're a different number in the scoring. I want to say that was Aiden Laney by chance.
Yeah, Aiden Laney, correct. That was a battlefield position. Yeah. Aiden Laney going on the high side.
Almost a broadcaster's curse up front and center there on the screen for you. And but yeah, these guys are running hard and running good. And
look, I don't have.
Up now.
No, I don't believe in broadcaster's curse. Now, if I were to talk to a friend, Daniel Cunningham, he would say that there is definitely a broadcaster's curse. I believe in YouTube commentator curse. I've seen it happen twice now. That a person specifically calls out driver's name saying they're gonna win, and 5 laps later that driver is wrecked. So
believe
commentator's curse, I don't believe.
Believe me, the amount of times, and I sometimes wish I started a list on it, but the amount of times that I have been talking about someone and then I look over to my scoring and, you know, timing and scoring, and I see a red and I look at the name, I'm like, I just said that name like 10 seconds ago. Adam Thompson in the Charity Cup Series is certainly one of those guys. As you know, I always like to bring up him because we're in the same state, so it's like, the guy's in my state. Because, you know, for some reason, state loyalty we all love. But it's like one of those things. He could end up backwards as a couple guys down, John Goen and Justin Crittenden down on pit road right now.
Yeah, it looks like they had speeding on pit entry. Not good for John Gowen. Gonna go probably a couple laps down out of that. So unlucky for that driver right there. But some of these drivers, they want to get fresh rubber again. They do have 4 tire sets for this race. With this green flag runs, if you need fresh tires, go ahead and take it. But unfortunate for John Gowen, gonna go lap down, and Justin Crittenden as well came down for fresh tires as well.
Yeah, we're starting.
Well, back up. Go ahead.
I was going to say we're starting to get towards that window where, Ray Massey went 49 laps. I know we had a couple caution laps, but we went 49 before he pit, and we're getting close to that halfway 100 mark. So I wonder if we'll see Massey make a move, maybe with Cofield with the lead that he has, flip to maybe one of those shorter stops like those other guys. Going to be interesting to see what people come up with here as we get closer to that equalize. I don't know how to word that. The equal to the first stop. He went 49. Does he go another 50? He's getting close to that window.
Yeah, getting close to that window, and the green flag pit stops happen around lap 51, 50, 51. So these drivers are going to come again for those new tires. Ray Massey came in at lap 49, so Ray Massey is going to be the closest to possibly coming down on pit road. Looking at the screen right now, TJ Allen and Chavis, I think they came down around lap 57. So based on how these pit stops are going to go, we might see a little bit of a shuffle between drivers in the top 10.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be one of those situations. I think this is going to be where we see when one guy pits, I think it's going to trigger a majority of this front 5 to 10 to make that same call to kind of keep themselves within. I mean, we saw how badly you can fall off here once when you stay out long. I think it's going to trigger a lot more people this time, as the 6 of Chavez was loose off corner exit there. TJ Elaine all over the back end of him. Well as a full pack of hungry drivers here, the 13, 20.
Yeah, the beehive is getting busy right now.
The hornet's nest, the beehive. I love those terms.
Yeah, it's getting busy, and I believe Patrick Craven, sitting behind TJ Allen, has fresh tires, so a lot of drivers trying not to get in the way of other drivers as Garrett Kinder hits the brakes into turn 1. I'm not sure what happened there, but he almost caused a collision between him and Aiden Laney. So the tires are starting to wear off for some of these drivers. Mental fatigue is starting to wear in a little bit. We're halfway through this race. No caution since lap 14. So this is definitely the time to start focusing and make sure you hit your marks before these pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely. As Stephen Ray is coming down pit road now, to surrender his positions, and it's funny that you bring up the mental fatigue. I think us as racers, a lot of I'm not sure about you, but for me, I've fallen into, I don't really race officials anymore. I don't race a ton of officials, and officials are typically a little bit shorter than most leagues are as well. But a lot of the leagues they run, they've kind of went to doing their own stages and stuff like that. And I think a lot of these trucks that are hopping in here now, this is a full length race essentially for this truck. I think the Craftsman Truck Series this past weekend, I think their race was 200 laps on the nose as well. But there's no stage breaks, there's no real stop. As Ray Massey and Curtis Mitchell, they make their stops here at 102, as well as I think that is Jacob Davis by chance. Jacob Link down pit road here. He's fired off. Chris Rude, teammate to Ray Massey, he's off and running now off of pit road too. But yeah, these guys don't have that mental stage break. We usually get 2 stage breaks nowadays, and I think this is a mentally tough race for a lot of these guys. who aren't used to running non-stages is Bontrager, Kinder, Laney. A lot of people triggered to come down pit road now.
Yeah, I mean, Bontrager, I think he was about 5 seconds off the lead before that pit stop. So he was one of those drivers that stayed out with Cofield. And maybe he's deciding to go the other way and just get those tires on now and maybe catch up to Cofield. With Cofield, once again, it's his world. He gets to decide when he wants to go in and when he wants to take on those fresh tires. Look, I think drivers will have one more pit stop after these rounds, and then it's going to be a shootout to the end. But like I said, Cofield gets to decide when he wants to go down to pit road.
Yeah, I think, what we're going to see too, possibly by chance, I think there's a possibility that we see some guys take this run and only go roughly 40 laps. I know we had the caution lap, so it's kind of really hard to go off of. I want to say we're more in the area of 55 laps a run versus the 60 to 62 that Libke ran. I want to say we're around that 55 mark. So I mean, you might see some people come down a little bit earlier, lap 145, so maybe only go 40 laps on this run. As Cofield and Manella both down pit road here. Cofield giving up the race lead, as we'll see if Chavis does also decide to come down, as TJ Lane going to stay on the racing surface and take over the race lead here, with Pendle going to be about 12 seconds, I think, behind him. 7 seconds. I'm terrible at math, apparently.
No, you're good.
Don't rely on me to give you good math. I can give you quick
No.
math. I don't know if it's going to be right. 1 plus 1 is 3. Wasn't good, but it's quick.
No, you're good. But I'm really looking, and this could turn out to be a fuel strategy game if everything plays out, because Adam Thompson went to lap 71, and I believe he pitted at lap 14 as well. So like you were saying, Jamie Lipke and a J Cam or a Adam Thompson who went longer, maybe they could stretch it out a little bit further. I doubt it, but adding that element, we don't have stage breaks. Maybe we might have a surprise winner due to fuel strategy or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see us getting to that lap 140 to 160 area and seeing a mixed bag of decisions. Libke down pit road here, coming off pit road. Trying to think in my head, how far can a lane go? Don't know if, he'd have to hit at least 140, and that's still 32 laps away, and that's impossible for that truck to make it from lap 57 to 140. That's almost a 90 lap run.
I mean, I don't think these drivers have gone a full fuel tank. I think it's been tires that's been dictating their pit stops. So maybe there is some extra space for these drivers to go. They will be slow, but if you have the lead and they're catching you at a rate, and if you can do the math in your head quick, and you know that they're not going to catch you by the end of the race, go for it. I love a fuel strategy that gives you the win.
Absolutely. I mean, you could be in a turtle in the hair kind of situation here where, you may not be running as fast as, Cofield, Massey, or Mitchell, but because you play your cards right and you save when you need to save and run a little harder when you need to run a little harder and really stretch a run, you could find yourself right in prime position to pull off a win. And I mean, even if the pit stop falls in your favor, you run this stop longer, and some other guys already make stops. I mean, you're going to get a free stop, and some of those guys are going to be on a little bit older stuff. There's like I said, a mixed bag of things that could possibly, go wrong or go good for some of these drivers.
Wrong and good. And as we go through these pit stops, I do see my good friend Bill Mofield now. Jordan, I know you don't know who Bill Mofield is, but I know who Bill Mofield is. And this guy is probably one of the coolest guys you could ever meet. Down to earth, runs every car imaginable in iRacing. If it has wheels and it has a steering wheel, he's going to be in it. And it's so good to see Bill Mofield running out here, running a consistent. He's 2 laps down, so it's unfortunate to see that. But Bill is going to be out there giving it his all. He's just here to have fun and meet people. So I'm glad to see Bill as out here having some fun in that famous 911 truck that he always runs. But yeah, like you said, the mixed bag of strategies, especially with these trucks, it's going to start coming out now. Like I've seen throughout this field, uh, Jake Ham has gone in front of Jamie Lipke through those pit stops. Great strategy call by him after what he's gone through, and he's picked up at least a couple positions as everything cycles out. But you know, these drivers, they're making decisions on the fly. You don't have the stage break, like you said, and these like half a second decisions will either make or break your race as we get closer to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, uh, when we're in this truck, we don't have the most of us. I don't even think anybody here would, but most of us just it's our own brain, our own thinking on the fly while we're driving the truck and we're the crew chief at the same time. That's even with a fixed setup. That's a lot to carry, and you know, kind of do race strategy on the fly. I mean, you can sit ahead of it as much as you want and be like, all right, I can go this far on a tank, this far before the tires get completely garbage, and make your decisions pre-race, when you want to make your pit stops. But once you get into the race, you have those 2-3 cautions that we did at the beginning. That takes what you just wrote down and throws it out the window, because that's gonna completely change the the timing of everything. So you're kind of just constantly on the fly this entire 200 laps.
Now, what do you think TJ Allen is thinking then, based off of that? He's a top 5 car all night, and he still hasn't pit compared to Ray Massey, Jonathan Cofield, Curtis Mitchell, Craig Bontrager. Those cars have already got their tires and fuel for their next round. What is TJ thinking right now?
I think if I can't speak for him, but in my head, I'd love to see how badly those left side tires are, as you run here, and maybe Elaine will be able to come down and just pop 2 on, maybe get a full stop here, full 4 and fuel, run until these guys go to make their last stop as well, because everybody that's already pitted, and I'm pretty sure everybody that's going to have to pit here soon, there's no way anyone can make it to 140. But they're all going to have to make pit stops again. And maybe Elaine runs this as long as he possibly can, and that last stop, he makes, pop on 2, and just kind of hope that works in his favor.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw while we were talking about that, Craig Bontrager taking the 7th position. Oh,
Bontrager gonna smack the wall.
Yeah, these tires are getting older. Track is getting rubbered in. That turn 4, it's a tricky corner, especially like I only run the next gens, but even in the next gen, that corner, the wall comes at you very fast. You think that you're turning in correctly, and you're letting the car slide up, and then out of nowhere you have that wall just right on your right side, and you don't want to hit it to get damaged. So I know these drivers really don't want to get any wheel damage now in this race.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, any kind of wheel damage. I mean, you might as well hope that you have that fast repair still, or just kind of fight for whatever you can get at that point. TJ Lane's going to come down pit road here now at 119, so it's going to put him just short of 80 laps. So he went 57 to 119. That's what, 62 laps, I believe. Yeah, so 62 laps. I mean, and maybe just a splash of fuel later on if he really wants to see how far he can push those tires. It might make up a little bit time. When these guys come down and get 4 in fuel, maybe he comes down and just gets fuel. It's a risky game. You're going to have about 80 lap old tires by the end of it, but I mean, if you don't have the speed to run up to the top, you got to find something to find some kind of time.
Yeah, looking through these pit times through all the drivers, all the drivers took four, so nobody really going out of the ordinary just yet in terms of this race. But like you said, 2 tires could be an option for some of these drivers who, say, a Craig Brauntrager, who he's been around in the top 5, but hasn't been able to catch that pack of Massey, Cofield, and Mitchell. Maybe 2 tires is the way to get him into that fight and possibly get a podium position or even the win if everything shakes out correctly.
Certainly going to be interesting. We're kind of getting close to crunch time. We just crossed halfway 22 laps ago, and it suddenly feels like there's no time left. I don't know why, but it's like once you cross over that 100 line, that halfway mark, it suddenly starts to feel like everything's running out. As Ray Massey is currently leading over Cofield by just a couple tenths here, is about half a second as he goes to the inside now of Pendle. So these two right here, Cofield are just barely fresher stuff at 4 laps. So, Massey playing a little bit of, pick games, finds himself in front of Cofield here right now. And, it's going to be, I think it's going to come down to this last stop. You got to get on. You got to get into your box perfectly. Get that pit stop started as fast as possible, and then just get out of Dodge.
Yeah, get out of Dodge indeed. TJ Allen coming through the mix, a lap down. But yeah, Massey.
Thread the needle right there to the inside of Massey. Whoa, that was about as close as I think you could get before Netcode decides it wants to rear its ugly head.
Yeah, especially with these trucks, the netcode is atrocious sometimes. Due to, it's a truck, it's a box, it's not a typical car figure that these other cars have, but they have a huge hitbox for some reason. So just being in the wrong place at the wrong time could spin the car. And I've seen that in some of our races where I got a win because 2 cars came together and netcode did its thing. So I know these drivers don't want to do that, but it's a possibility. So you got to watch out for that.
Cofield shrunk that down to just about a tenth of a second here. And I think this is where we're going to see Massey really put on the mirror driving, really kind of try to follow in the tracks of Cofield, as Cofield now goes to the inside. Going to get just maybe a bumper, not quite going to get to the side of him here, as it looks like Massey kind of thought better of fighting him and just kind of lets him get through there and thinks we're saving for a different task here.
Yeah, Jonathan Cofield in the 58 running that Save 22 paint. Save 22 is a nonprofit organization dedicated to stopping suicide among veterans, which is a big sponsor at GLR. And, great to see that Save 22 paint out there. They're a really great organization. And I'm glad to see Jonathan Cofield running that really nice paint. But looking at this, Curtis Mitchell came down the same time as Ray Massey, but is 6 seconds behind somehow. For a car that was up there fighting for the lead in the beginning of this race, it's very shocking to see him 6 seconds behind Cofield and Massey right now.
Yeah, maybe I don't know how much time you would really save doing. The more I thought about it, I don't know how much time you'd really save doing 2 in a full fuel stop. I'm starting to wonder maybe if that's a idea Mitchell had, but you're not. If you're going to have to get a full tank, you're going to be sitting there. You might as well take 4 anyway. So maybe Mitchell just seeing as it is and kind of just taking a little back seat as Bottinger and Link are just side by side. Link, one of the hardest fought drivers in the Charity Cup Series. He's not as reckless as Chastain was at one point, but certainly is as hard to pass as Chastain used to be. Doesn't like to give you spots easily. He likes to keep his position, and he's going to make you work for that position if you really want it that badly.
Yeah, it looks like he's making Bontrager work for it. Bontrager 2 lap fresher tires than Link, not really giving him any opportunity to get the inside. Bontrager gonna go down to the apron a little bit. It gets a little loose. That transition really can send the car sideways if you hit it incorrectly. And Bontrager pays the price for it, so he's gonna have to reel Link back down. And if you look right behind them, it's another battle between Kinder and Chavis. Those guys have been going at it all race for that position, and Kinder has been successful so far, but a lot of battles going on right now as Charles Aber is trying to get his lap back with fresh tires, and it looks like
Bogner and Abert both going to try to get forward to try to get that lap back, and Chavis seeing that the sometimes the lap car is just getting to the inside of the car that may be a half second ahead of you, just gives you enough time to make up, get right to their rear bumper and maybe force them to make a mistake.
You force a mistake indeed. And I mean, with that, with the Bogner coming through, it looks like Bontrager, he doesn't want to get messed up by that 29 truck. But at the same time, wants to keep up with Link as well. Link is up 10 positions, actually. I'm looking at the charts right now. So Link is having a really good race and sitting in that P4 right now, doesn't want to hit into P5, and he's fighting real hard with that 29 Brian Bogner right now. So I see what you say. Link is a really tough driver.
Link is just when you strip it down to the bare bolts, Link is just a race car driver. He doesn't care what you got, what position you are. He's gonna race you for it. But here now, Bontrager going to get to the inside, and I've noticed that. Excuse me. I noticed that as the door bang just a touch there, but I've noticed that if a truck's able to, yellow out, looks like Jacob D.
Yellow
is pointed at the outside wall.
I guess we're gonna have to check that out.
He backs it in, so I wonder. He had to have maybe had a little help, or
is this gonna be a net cut? Yeah. Oh, definitely got a lot of help from that.
I said earlier in the race that people were going to start pushing that envelope of that left rear quarter, and I think that's kind of what we just saw there. The 20 machine goes down into that corner, trying to get as much air off the back of that 28 as you see. They've got plenty of space, and you see him kind of test. Goes out, goes in, goes out, and just tries it one more time to get as close of a side draft as he can. Just stepped over that line and sent the 28 around. So this is going to be interesting because we're not quite in that window that these guys will be perfect and good for the rest of the way, because we're still we're 65 laps, so we actually might be really close to that window. So if these guys come down, this could possibly be the last stop that these guys make with 65 laps to go.
Definitely. We got Cofield, and I think most of the lead lap cars are going to come in while the others want to go get their lap back. And like I said earlier, this could become a fuel race. Is that a car staying out?
I think Chavis 105, down 105, so that's going to be maybe you go out there.
That is interesting.
You just go out there and you run laps as hard as you can, maybe hoping that these guys can't make it. If I'm trying to do the math in my head, we're at 65 laps right now. We're going to be coming around to 64 and then 63 when we go green, if I'm doing the math correctly. Should be about 63 to go. And based on what we've seen, I think the longest we've seen is 62 laps. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see if they can save that one extra lap of fuel. A lap of fuel, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it can really quickly become a lot when you go out here and you run. If you run too hard and burn up fuel a lot faster than intended, you find yourself in a very precarious situation of having to do a quick stop and go. And if Dylan plays it right, runs this as hard as he can, I mean, with, 20, 31 lap old tires, it's not out of the question that he still has some life in it to maybe go out and run as hard as he can. Come down, grab a set of tires and fuel. While if these guys have to make a stop to get that last lap or two of fuel, he find himself a really good spot here. It's all going to come down to. I just kind of put my hand in the air and go, I don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the biggest winner out of this is Jonathan Cofield. He's going to have a car on his inside with not fresh tires, which is going to hold up Ray Massey for him, and Mitchell and Cofield can get away. So I think the big winner out of this is Cofield. And I did see TJ Allen take 2 tires, but then he went back, and I guess he got the other side done now. So Joe Manella, the 99, is the only car with 2 tires with the 2 tire strat. So it's going to be interesting to see what the 99 does.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be certainly revealing itself here coming up momentarily, as Chavis is going to have control over the restart as he's going to roll towards that restart box. Got to watch for the tire spin as he fires off cleanly in the set sail with Massey pulling in tow right there behind him. Or that's, I don't think that is Massey, is it?
It looks like Massey to me. Yeah, it is Ray Massey, but Cofield had a slow start to that. He got kind of backed up.
I was looking for the 23. It says 26 in the sim. He's 23 on the truck. But now Chavis going to hold up Cofield, and that's actually going to benefit Massey here as Massey surges to the lead. And now Chavis is just going to play who can I hold up to keep my position as best as possible here as Curtis Mitchell going to go to the inside of Chavis now.
Yeah, the best thing that Chavis can hope right now is that drivers get greedy behind him.
I thought that we were about to see that greed as Mitchell gets sideways off the corner. Cofield, like you said, might get a little greedy here. Going to go to the inside, 3 wide.
3 wide.
Link Mitchell and Cofield. Is Cofield going to try to squeeze up in front of Mitchell side by side with Chavis down the front stretch? Gonna be
far wide, hitting the wall.
Oh, Manella in the wall.
Well, our 2-tire driver hit the wall, which is going to send him back. So unfortunate for the 99, but we're still 3 wide. Between 4 wide, actually, going between Mitchell, Kinder, Chavis, and all them. It is a crazy situation right now between these cars.
Didn't you just say the word greedy? And certainly these guys saw a 6 truck that's not running as fast, holding up both lines. People just making moves inside, outside, through the middle, wherever they can fit that truck. We almost had disaster there relatively quickly. Libke 3 wide in the middle of Chavis and Rhea. Or Stephen Ray, my apologies.
Yeah.
Goes to the outside. Libke up to 8th. So, I mean, Libke, their strategy went pretty spot on for them so far.
I mean, Libke, Jake Ham as well. One of those drivers that had an early incident. He's into the top 10 now. Where did Jake Ham come from? Libke and Ham were the biggest beneficiaries from that.
And Jake Ham looking to the inside, going to get past Aiden Laney, and now looking forward to Kinder, looking to crack into the top 5 here.
Yeah, Jake Ham coming in. And if I was Jake Ham, I know it's your first time in the top 10 since the beginning of the race. I would make sure not to kill your tires. Oh, as we have drivers ahead of him hit the wall. Kinder and I'm sorry, I keep about to mispronounce his name. Jacob Link hit the wall. If I was Jake Ham, take care of your tires, man. You have your opportunity to right the wrong from the beginning. And if these drivers ahead of you burn their tires, 3 positions for you.
Yeah, I think when you see the names Massey, Cofield, and Mitchell right there within you, you know they're the fastest 3 trucks. You know you have to match that speed. I think it's just naturally hard to, back that truck down. I'm guilty of it. I think everybody is guilty of it. I think Cofield and Mitchell right now, seeing Massey out as far as he is, they're probably thinking the same thing, like, I need to run harder. And Massey himself, even though he is the lead truck, he knows how fast Cofield and Mitchell have been. He's probably thinking to himself, I've got to get as far away as I possibly can. And, he's just got to find a way to do it cleanly and keep the tires underneath him.
Cleanly, keep the tires as clean as possible, not pick up any marbles that might send the car a little tight through the corners. But you're right. Massey, big benefit from that start, has gotten away. He can take it to the end after that pit stop, I think. But with Cofield right behind him, he's probably saving as well to charge up an attack later on in the run if it goes green. You want to have those tires to defend against somebody like Cofield.
Right, and I think, that last time around, a tenth of a second faster than Massey. I think when you have a truck as fast as Cofield has all night, I think you're actually the beneficiary in this situation. You can kind of keep yourself under you, kind of hold Mitchell back here a little bit. You can save it a little bit. You keep moving a little bit forward, just inch by inch, down to 7/10, just under 8/10 of a second of a gap. That time around, again, a tenth faster. So you don't need to make up, a half a second to a second a lap. You just need to make up a tenth, maybe even half a tenth a lap, and put yourself in good standing. You got a fast truck. You can run them down. You've done it all night long. I think Cofield is in, what was it? I think it was Darrell Waltrip used to say all the time, the catbird seat.
Yeah, I would have to think back, man. I'm 31 years old. Whoa!
Saves it, holds on. That was a little scary.
A little scary indeed, but the truck is still clean. The truck is still straight. Hopefully that steering wheel is still straight. You could live to fight another day, as Jamie Lipke and Stephen Ray are now battling for that 7th position. And like we said earlier, Jamie Lipke coming back from the back and really putting on a show now.
Yeah, cautions falling the way they needed to for Lipke and Ham, both sitting here just inside the top 10. I don't think Libke's going to be done if they can get to the back end of Laney and Kinder here. And, again, that 74 is so hard to pass. Link, I feel like Link, when they're back at the shop, I think they add in a couple extra inches to the back bumper of that thing and make it just a tad bit wider, because it always seems like his bumper is always in front of you.
Yeah, I don't think we have post-race inspections, but based on how I've been seeing him drive tonight, I believe you. So he's definitely keeping his position. He makes it hard, because we have Garrett Kinder and Aiden Laney behind, fighting for that 5th position, that last position in the top 5. Garrett Kinder, he's been moving up through the field. He wants to keep that top 5. Aiden Laney had a little bit of a rough start, but he's been coming back through the pit cycles and that yellow flag. It's anybody's race at this point. And I do want to note, TJ Allen, I said he took a 2-tire stop and then came back down. He might have made a smart move. He refilled his tank after one pacing lap. That might be the difference to go further than most of these drivers who may need to make another splash and dash for this race.
And even if they don't have to make another stop right now, if we get into that 2 to go or 3 to go situation and we get a caution, those guys are going to be clutching it and begging for that green flag as fast as possible so that they can get back running. And they might be at the point where they can run a full fuel run to 200, but that 201, 202, 203 might actually be a problem for these guys.
100%. I mean, looking at TJ Allen too, Craig Bontrager's there with him. And Craig whoa!
I believe that was the 20. Yeah, I think it was. Oh man, why can't I find the 20 on my timing? It's so terrible.
Joe Manella? No. Patrick Craven, 15. Actually, he's 15 in the race, but his car says 20. Patrick Craven hit the wall right there.
He had avoided the catastrophe there.
Yeah, just that would have hurt somebody like TJ Allen or Craig Bontrager, who are clearly clutch. What I was going to say is Craig Bontrager is not a slow car, but yet he's in the back with TJ Allen as TJ Allen goes into J Cam, pushes him up the track. Sorry, I did not. Sorry, I'm going to say sorry to our producer, Skylar. I know he was looking at something else, but I saw them run up into each other, and I was like, oh, we got a battle right now between Bontrager and Allen.
Yeah, and Elaine Ham and Bontrager all just like, who's going to do what, who's going to go where, as we continue to throw Skylar in circles.
Yeah, I mean, Skylar will be okay. I know he'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, we got to give a hand to him, because as soon as we say something, it's like snap right to it. I don't know why I snapped in person, like somebody can see me snap. But great camera work by Skylar here as well. Don't just because you can't hear him doesn't mean we don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, well, as he tells us that they can't hear what he's saying, so maybe that's a good thing, because he might be mad at us at any point. So we're looking at it. J Cam, TJ Allen, and Craig Bontrager. What I was saying before that whole little battle between them happened, Craig Bontrager is a top 4 car. But yeah, he's in the back with TJ Allen after those pit stops. And based on the times I'm looking at, he might be clutching as well. So that fuel strategy game is starting to peek into these drivers' mind. You are under 50. You are running under 40 laps or under 45 laps left in this race. Maybe you started clutching in the beginning and you saved your tires. Now it's time to go full attack, knowing that you have the fuel to go to the end.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to that last little bit of crunch time. Cofield's run down the 23 of Massey, but kind of hanging there as Chris Rude makes his trip down. The pit road.
Oh no!
As it looks like Justin Crittenden. Oh, Bogner as
Oh
well.
man!
Handful of other trucks is all involved there, so that's gonna throw a wrench in things as well.
Well, if you were playing the fuel strategy game, that just went out the window. You don't have to worry about your fuel anymore, and maybe that hurt TJ Allen and Bontrager.
Just coming down pit road, and I don't know if maybe a call didn't go through, but Thompson, Bogner, I can't see who that, it looks like the 911 there of Bill Mulfield. The 24
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
Of John Gowan.
It looks like John Gowan, yeah.
It just looks like Crittenden was making a stop, and I don't know if maybe a call didn't come through, or if maybe Gowan didn't hear it, or what the case may be, but at 17, hit the brakes, and Gowan just taking all of the rear bumper from that truck. And now, I mean, do we see anybody maybe make a stop here? Because I feel like they should, because we've only had, I think, 3 pit stops among the top, at least Cofield and Massey. So, yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Everybody's coming into the pits. I'm seeing. Did Bontrager get a penalty in that? I don't see anything, but somebody's saying Bontrager might have gone into speeding in the pits after avoiding that wreck, but nothing's coming through on our end. Maybe they cleared it for him, but yeah, for those drivers who sit in the top 10, these are things that you don't want to see happen if you were playing the fuel game.
Yeah, now, I mean, we're going to be seeing... This is going to be madness. I mean, we're going to have just under 40 laps to go. A clear all-you-got run to the finish. And Jacob Link, maybe just fuel 6 seconds on pit road. Stephen Ray, 5 seconds. Libke, maybe 2 tires there.
Libke, definitely 2 tires. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you're correct maybe they took tires and no fuel because they have enough fuel to go to the end of the race.
Could be that as well, but I feel like that would still maybe be. I think if there's one that took 4 out of that, it would be Libkey at 9 seconds. But 5 and 6, that's definitely just splash. It's got to be a splash of fuel and go. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, but
mean,
definitely Lipke got 2. I believe you on that. The other ones.
yeah. So Libkey and Elaine, from what we've heard, 2 tires for those 2. Everybody else 4.
Well, the pace
Well, I
car
mean,
lights are out.
That's
Sorry,
gonna
I didn't mean to do
that's
that.
gonna give us quite a crazy go here, because you've got no tires with 2 tires with 4 tires, and 2 or 3 of the fastest trucks of Massey, Cofield, and Mitchell stuck behind all of this. And you know how they say cautions breed cautions, and I don't think we're done. I think we're gonna get into a situation of might not be anything clean by the end of this. I think everybody's gonna have a dent, scratch, or a missing piece of equipment at some point here tonight.
Well, it looks like they extended the caution by 1, so still some drivers need to, shuffle through lap traffic and whatnot, get in their position. But yeah, you're right. Cautions do breed cautions, and this could be the start of something that some of these drivers don't want to see. Somebody like Jamie Lipke, who may have already used their fast repair early in this race, don't want to be in that situation where you got to make that last second decision of surviving or getting caught up in a wreck. Jacob Link and Stephen Ray, they didn't take tires, and so they are significantly older than everybody behind. Do they cause a bunch of that? Somebody in the back of the field ends up getting wrecked because of that. So, a lot of unknowns walking into the situation. Ray Massey probably is happy to have fresh tires on.
Oh, absolutely. And I've told you that Link is Link is a wide bumper to get by. So Lipke gonna have her hands full here as we get ready to go green here, and we can be 3 wide by the time we get to turn 1.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 4
Even
wide at
4.
minimum.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah.
I would not be surprised if you see Cofield and Massey try to force themselves on the outside here, and then you got TJ Elaine right there, 3rd car in line on the bottom. He's been hungry all night, so why not just make it 5 wide? Oh man.
I don't know if the track can fit that, but I'm gonna give you the call. 162.
Yeah, as we go,
you got the roll.
As Jacob Link gonna roll towards this restart zone into the certain unknown here, as we get ready to go back. Green flag in the air as Link waited an eternity there. Oh, what a game that was as they head down turns 1 or down. Wow, I'm so excited I can't speak. As
You're perfectly fine.
I was like,
oh, there they go.
3 wide, 4 wide now.
Oh my.
I said turn 1. I ended up being turned 3rd. 3 wide, 3 wide, 4 deep now.
How are they doing this? 4 deep, 3 wide.
TJ Elaine, the one to surge all the way through to the front here, as we're still 3 wide for 3rd right now between Cofield. No, Cofield's still back in 6th. No, that is Cofield. Holy cow, I can't. My eyes are going everywhere.
It's too many cars. I don't blame you.
Wall banging.
Everybody's trying to get to that rear quarter panel, and then they get sucked up into the wall as well, trying to avoid being hit on their quarter panel. Whoa, car into the wall out of turn 4. These drivers are really pushing it right now.
Yeah, as Link is trying to separate himself from Elaine, a hungry truck with now Mitchell to the inside of him. Mitchell maybe having the separation for the first time away from Massey and Cofield and in front. But Link down to the bottom to put the block. Libke 3 wide almost there, is now 3 wide for the race lead. Curtis Mitchell on the inside, Lane on the outside, almost 4 wide for the race lead.
Oh, Jacob Link, like yeah, you said the bumper is about 4 inches wider. I think he made his bumper a foot wider through that. He did not want to give up that position right there.
TJ,
He's
yeah.
fighting hard right now.
3 wide once again. Cofield in the middle between Link and Massey. As Elaine surges to the race lead, Mitchell to second. Still 3 wide, now 2 wide as we come off a turn 4 with Cofield and Massey side by side again, and those two, they have not been able to separate themselves by much this entire race, and they are certainly not going to let it go now. As Link gonna get put 3 wide here again with Bontrager and Bogner, who was just in that last incident, able to use a fast repair, I guess, still had it sitting there, is now side by side for the race lead. I'm running out of breath.
We're running out of breath, and you get a chance to catch it back because we have a yellow.
Oh, Dylan Chavis with a situation here. Truck not facing the right direction in any capacity there. Oh, what a shot. Saw a little bit of early there as it looks like the 24 and the Pendle going to be 3 wide.
Going into turn 3.
Manella going to be inside 3 wide. Space just running out there.
Yeah.
Manella couldn't move down. Yeah, Manella could not move down in the slightest whatsoever there. Oh, my heart.
Yeah, car coming out of pit road.
I wish I had my Apple Watch so that I could look at my heart rate right now, because it's certainly hit a peak.
Well, Chavis definitely going to use his fast repair. I'm sure he's glad he has that in his pocket. But yeah, just space running out. You know, car coming out of pit road, staying on the bottom, not to really affect anything. And I think we see Jacob Link come down pit road. Joe Manella is coming down pit road as well. So cars that stayed out the last round of the yellow flag is now going to come down and get fresher tires than everybody else. So it kind of works out for Jacob Link. He was down in top 8. He might come back in this race.
I mean, you're putting Link on 10-lap fresher tires here. And I mean, it's been showing that, you know, the tires just, there is really no major saving of these tires. They get tore up regardless. So, I mean, Link might be sitting in a good spot. If he could just find the right openings, he could find his way through a lot of this traffic. But you still got to get past Massey, Cofield, and Mitchell. Not to mention you add in TJ Elaine, who's, you know, come out of the back of the pack and really put himself in the front here. Jake Ham, you know, he's fast. He's been fast all night. Got the benefit of the, you know, couple cautions. Finds himself in 5th. Then you have, you know, Bontrager and Bogner both consistently fast. I mean, it seems like as we've gotten closer to this last, you know, portion of the race, some more guys have figured this truck out and figured out how to run this track. And at this point, with 30 to go, it's going to be anybody's game at this point.
Yeah, anybody's game indeed. And like you said, Jake Ham, he had a rough beginning, and he's up in the front now. So kudos to Jake Ham. Cofield and Mitchell have 1 car ahead of him for the lead, which is TJ Lane, who's been playing a really good game so far during this race. Everything's worked out in his favor as he holds the lead as the pace car lights are off. So drivers given the 1 to go, getting ready to be on a 2x2 formation. And at this point, it's anybody's game. I think drivers have either have 1 set left or have used all their tires. So whoever has the freshest tires may be the winner of this race.
Yeah, I think at this point in the race, it's a run what you brung. And I mean, I just got to shout out everybody that's tuned in and, you know, watching this right now. I mean, are you not entertained? Like, you know, just throw up the hands. Are you not entertained? Because this has been a wild race, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. This has been a great race. This is the beauty of non-stage racing. Anything can happen. Anything can change. NASCAR, if you're listening, take a hint. But I don't control that.
Anytime, anywhere, any place, and certainly right now that place is going to be the race leader of TJ Elaine, as he doesn't waste any time, gets in the box and fires away. and tries. I mean, he knows he's got 2 hungry cars as it's suddenly caution
Oh,
right
it's caution.
back. Not sure what for is.
I'm sure
I
it
got
was
the blood.
a unicorn effect or something happened and
I
somebody
got
in
the
the back
blood.
spun.
I got the blood pressure up. It came back down. It started to ramp back up. They let it come back down.
Yeah,
Oh
a
boy.
little tease for you right there. But I wonder if we can see what happened. Looking through the
It
field,
just, I
can't really
wonder
find
if,
it.
maybe just I got nothing. I mean,
So look at the replay. We got you got JJ Gisa. I'm sure it happened in the back. Somebody in the back got caught up in an accordion effect and probably spun. So we'll try to find that for you guys.
maybe they weren't just lined up right. I did see somebody saying trucks lining up 3 wide coming to the green, so maybe
Oh yeah, I see. I found it. Oh man. Yeah, definitely 3 wide to the green, which is not what we want to do out here. So good. I think that was a race control caution right there to
absolutely.
kind of
That had
set
with
everybody
how quick
back
that
up.
was, it had to have been. So I want to shout out. I think it's Michael Newton said that on YouTube, giving us
Yeah.
an extra eye, as we have needed probably 6 pairs of eyes. With how everything has been here recently, we need 6 pairs of eyes and 4 more cameras.
You are
Skylar
so
in
correct
there.
on that.
Skylar needing to become an octopus to be able to click everywhere he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, a big shout out to Michael Newton. Race control is a thankless job in iRacing and not everybody's favorite thing to do. And you're also probably the most hated person sometimes.
I love
I
that.
know that.
I love his comment. I'm race control, by the way, guys. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice to
meet you
meet
too,
you, and
Michael.
thank you for pointing us in the correct direction. Oh
Oh
boy.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've done race control at GLR, and I did a championship race in Phoenix, and I had to give a black flag to the CEO of Goat Locker Racing. So that was a
Oh.
great conversation to have. But
Had
race
to give
control,
black flag to Patrick. Oof.
yeah, I'm still
That's one of those
fired.
you just kind of hover your mouse. You kind of hover your mouse over it, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, I'm still fired from race control unofficially in Patrick's eyes, but he doesn't know I still race control. But it is what it is.
I think Michael just kind of heard how out of breath I am. I'm a little husky. I don't want to say I'm large, but I'm approaching that. He heard how out of breath I am and was just like, let's give him a couple extra laps to bring that those arteries back to open a little bit.
Well, it is. We're gonna restart on lap 175. Drivers are itching to get going. Drivers with fresh tires, not so fresh tires. I'm gonna give you the call for this restart, but I expect pandemonium once these cars are let go.
Absolutely. As you know, we get ready to round around turns 3 and 4. It's got 25, 26. I'm looking at 174 on the left and 173 on the right. We come to 26 laps to go here. I don't think we're done wrecking, but certainly going to give that control once again here to TJ Lane. And now TJ going to have to think of a different strategy. He says, I'm going to go ahead and get gone. As soon as I enter that restart zone, green flag back in the air. Mitchell Cofield side by side again. As TJ going to have to figure out where he wants to put that bumper. And if I was him, I'd be putting that bumper in a face full.
Oh, Mitchell in the wall.
But both Elaine and Mitchell in the wall there, as Cofield now going to surge to the race lead. Bogner going to be all over the back bumper of Ham as they capitalize on the 2 front runners colliding with the wall. And now
colliding with the wall.
That could be a good sign there for Cofield as Massey stuck behind a bunch of trucks here, sitting in 6th. Elaine, 2 tires, not showing as fast right now as we stand. Ham fighting strong with Mitchell, and I mean that's all Cofield wants to see is the 3 trucks that were fighting him the hardest in good positions. Link all over the back of Bogner there. Because you know he's got about 10 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field.
Link is on the move. He is throwing his car, and he hits Massey.
Massey almost going airborne. The 19 in the wall. Somehow it's only those 3 trucks maybe 4. Maybe just 3 trucks. Ray, Massey, and I want to say the 19 there are the only ones really affected by that. I don't know how we didn't have at least 6 more trucks involved.
I don't know either. And like I said, Link was putting his nose where it shouldn't have been, but he has fresh tires. He wants to move. And maybe a little netcode.
Link saw a hole open up that was maybe the exact width of his truck. But hey, if he didn't have that extra foot, of body, maybe he would have fit.
I mean, hey, I think Link and J-Cam need to exchange numbers because that was a definite J-Cam move if I've ever seen one. But I love J-Cam. I love him. I'm just letting everybody know I love J-Cam. J-Cam is a great guy. But that when J-Cam sees a line and it looks like Jacob Link, when he sees a line, they're gonna take it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much Jacob Link not afraid to push the envelope and sometimes even throw things through the envelope as he tried there, and he's still in good shape here. I don't see much body work ruined on that truck. So sitting here in the 6th position, slightly fresher tires, didn't slide them. So still sitting in a really good spot. I mean, I would not be surprised if you see something crazy as Bogner going to bail out into pit road here. Would not be surprised
Yeah, I wonder.
if we saw, I don't know if maybe, yeah, I mean,
I think Bogner has damage from that last one.
Yeah, I'd assume he had something from that. Is going to get that righted up, make the best of what he's got. But I could see Link here. Link is should be starting on the 3rd on the outside.
Yep.
Or inside, correct. Because if it was 6th, he would have been on the outside. I could see him just throwing this thing into turn 1 and 2 and
if I see that, man, woo.
Hey, him and Ham are going to be starting 1-2 behind or with each other, just behind Cofield. So, hey, if Ham sees the line, he's gonna, Link's gonna see the line too. So, you might see these guys just bulldoze through and put on a show.
I mean, shout out to J-Cam, man. Jake,
absolutely,
had a great qualifying position, had a little incident at the beginning, worked his way back up. I think we're gonna restart with about 21:20 to go, and he's in a podium position right now. So J-Cam has everything in front of him. TJ a lane in front. Cofield, class of the field so far tonight. Did see one of his in-race rivals get caught up in that. So a little bit of cushion for Cofield right now. Mitchell in P4, so he's still a threat. Link with fresh tires. If he doesn't really have damage, he's a big threat to both of those drivers. And J-Cam, like I said, if J-Cam sees that line and he can make it, he's gonna go for that position. So, like you said, we may not be out of cautions just yet, but we're going to have some exciting racing coming up.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, if he had a set, I don't really know, and none of us will ever really know. If Massey still had a set of tires on that pit wall and a fast repair, that could be a fresh, brand new truck. That would put him around 20 lap fresher, so a little bit bigger of a position than Link. With 20 to go here as we get ready to go green with the pace lights out. 20 lap as hard as you can run on fresh tires. Massey might be a torpedo here.
Yeah, I mean, this concrete surface is eating up these tires. Even though the track temp has been sitting around 81 to 83, as big of a difference you can have, you're going to be fast. And I mean, we have the pace car coming into pit road now. Cofield with the control. Will he go early? Will he go late? It's up to him. He has control. Cofield crawling into the restart zone, sitting, and he takes a late restart, has the move, and TJ Lang gets caught up, spins his tires, and Curtis Mitchell suffers for that. So Jake Ham in the second. And if you think I have my money on somebody outside of Cofield, Jake Ham is really a threat right now.
Yeah, Jake Ham able to benefit from that. Almost gets hooked. Gonna get hooked. Gonna go down in the grass. And
I am so sorry, Jake Ham.
Keeps it straight. Now he's got to find a way back. And no, everybody.
Oh, no. I am so sorry, Jake Ham. Okay, I believe in commentator's curse right now. Everybody, as my witness on this stream, commentator curse is real. I am so sorry, Jake Ham. That is so unfortunate to see as we got the replay up. Jake, with a great start, goes up, thinks he's a little bit clear, gets clipped, tries to save the truck going through the grass, and just goes through the grass.
Yeah, if that was any other track, I think he's good there. He can merge back up, but just having to cross that grass and, you know, you're carrying so much speed, you're not going to even be able to really back off to get around the rest of that corner and get, you know, back to that asphalt section. I mean, he only needed maybe a couple 100 feet there to get back to the asphalt transition, but when you're carrying that kind of speed through there, trying to keep you know, as many positions as you can, it's gonna be hard to kind of keep out of that grass. But I mean, props to him, because I'd have been wadded up in the infield at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like a little hard hit, but if he has a fast repair, you know, and it sounds like from our broadcaster, he does have a fast repair, so he's still in this race. If he has tires, even better. Under 20 to go. He could do something, but we'll see. We'll see what happens for Jake Ham. And then also, I think
Ray
Dakota
Massey
Cole got caught up in that.
It's like Ray Massey making another stop down pit road. Not sure if he got anything from that or what.
He might not have a fast repair, and he just has to take, you know, this is an opportunity to repair damage.
Maybe didn't get enough and didn't have much damage from his almost flip, but still had enough to come down and get that repaired. But
yeah,
my heart can't take
unfortunate for some drivers. Well, commentator's curse has happened in this race, so if you had the bet for a commentator's curse to happen, congratulations, you've won nothing but my embarrassment. But Jonathan Cofield, he's loving life right now because he's not used these tires, so he has enough to defend for these remaining laps.
Yeah, but I mean, now you bring Link gonna be just to his outside, Mitchell gonna be not his outside, gonna be one spot back to his outside, and then Mitchell gonna be right on that tail end of him, and you got TJ Lane, who hasn't really gone away, right there to his outside. So like I said, those guys that have kind of showed up and showed that they're fast, all starting to surround that, you know, 58 Ram there.
Yeah, that 58 Ram of Cofield is the guy to beat. Like I said, he was my pick to win this race, and I'm going to shut up from there on because I do not want to see Cofield get messed up in this. But we're going to go to Joe Manella. He's been up and down this field all night, and we're going to restart with 16 to go. He's in prime position for a podium place as well.
Yeah, it's still anyone's race here. So we're going to be coming back to green at lap 184 to give us 16 to go in the rest of this race. And, you know, like we said, cautions breed cautions, and it's not showing it's going to clean up here right now. Is, you know, again, Bontrager right there to the third in line on the bottom. He's been fast. Manella's, you know, peeking his nose into the conversation. Kinder, a quiet assassin throughout the night as that pace car makes that hard left turn, gives control to John Cofield once again as he gets ready to fire off here. And Mitchell just able to stick just with him this time. Is Mitchell going to look maybe to push the envelope down to the inside, but Cofield going to be able to cover it. There's a lane going out way wide. Going to try to hang it out wide. Going to maybe go 3 wide here if Link sticks his nose, but thinks better of it. Link going to get squirrely in the field. Somehow we don't. I don't know. Don't ask me how we don't have an absolute calamity there.
I think Jacob Link got a black flag. There is an incident limit for this race, and I think Jacob Link has just crossed that threshold.
The 20 back there of Craven spinning, but gets to pit road, so not going to be a factor for a caution there. Mitchell following in suit behind Cofield as things seem to quiet for a split second. As I say that, looks like Manella grabs the wall as Kinder looks to the inside of possibly sticking his nose in there to TJ Elaine. Big wobble there by the 13 of Kinder. Certainly pushing this thing to the very edge of what it can handle. As Cofield sits a little happy here, just 0.3 of a second in front of Mitchell. Mitchell's got to find something, get there, disturb the truck in any fashion. But I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
To get to the back bumper of Cofield is like trying to fill a cup while it's upside down. It's just not possible.
I don't even know how that's possible, but you said it. But, yeah, I mean, shout out to Jacob Link. It was a little calamity coming out of turn 2, hit a couple cars, but yeah, somehow he was able to keep the car or the truck as straight as possible. I think he did blink a little bit, so he appeared and didn't appear in front of some drivers, and then when he reappeared, kind of spooked everybody. So unfortunate, but there is no caution. Drivers get to keep going, and it's not a bad situation. A little bit, I don't know. I'm just talking at this point.
I think our brains have been scrambled with all of the action. It's not over at all whatsoever yet, though, because Mitchell just right here within just under 0.2 of a second, trying to put the pressure on to Cofield, but also right behind him, Bontrager just there too as well, putting the pressure on Mitchell. So everybody feeling the pressure as we get close to just 10 laps to go here. And you got Link, I think it's Link right there in front of the race leaders. Lap traffic, certainly if Mitchell can get to that inner quarter panel as they catch Link and try to use him as a pick, but no, Link gonna stay out wide. Gonna tuck in right in between these guys.
Yeah, Link is definitely gonna get out the way.
Yeah, just trying to stay out of the way as best as possible, but just caught Link at the wrong time there for Mitchell. As now Bontrager gonna have more pressure on Mitchell.
Yeah, Bontrager putting the pressure on to Mitchell, trying to get to P2 and possibly fight for the win, but Cofield in complete control, cool, calm, and collected, as he always is. We're going to be under 10 laps to go as they round turn 3, and Joe Manella fighting for that position, hitting into the wall. Oh, contact.
Oh, Pendle. Somehow keep it moving forward. I'd say that
no.
And Wagner are going to get into the wall there. Still green. No, now we're caution.
Man.
That's certainly within probably about 4 to go by the time we get back to green, 5 to go. So put us 3 wide here. Wagner and Kinder real tight, sends him into Pendle. And they just could not separate. Wagner gets hooked, and then Kinder, that grass, just losing it.
Oh. Did you see Jamie Lipke on that? Yeah. Oh my God. Jamie Lipke just minding her business, and then out of nowhere, cars are crashing, looking at the driver cam. I mean, Jamie Lipke
riding on board here now with the 16 of Lipke, and just see how she does this. See, you're just kind of like the middle. I mean, you've got Pendle to your outside, outside ahead of you. And then you have the 2 cars spinning on the inside, and you're just like, I guess I got to go to the middle. And then you see Kinder come flying up. I mean, you're just along for the ride, and you just, you just start pleading your case of why you deserve to get through.
That is the perfect way to explain it. I do that all the time when that happens in front of me. Like, please don't waste my time. Please don't waste my time.
It's kind of like when you go to like a sporting event or TSA and you have nothing on you, but you start getting closer to that metal detector and you're like, please don't go off. That's pretty much what that was there.
Man, I mean, this situation, I mean, if you asked me 50 laps ago, would we have, I think, 4 cautions in the period right before the end? I've been like, no, these guys have been driving real great. Well, we're here with under 8 to go, and Cofield probably is banging his head like, can we please get to the end? I want to finish this race. He has to fight off Mitchell again.
Yeah, and I mean, it's how it always goes. You know, you have clean racing the whole time, and then that one just untimely caution bunches everybody back up, and then that flips the switch in everybody's mind. Like, I have a shot at this. That guy that, was, sitting in 15th and just kind of cruising around, he's now bunched up to the back end of everybody, and he's like, I can get there. And then that guy in third, he's, I'm right there again. Everybody gets that same mentality, and we just start, essentially bulldozing everybody. And you can't blame them. The win is right there. You're the closest to the lead you probably have been for the last, 120 laps, and it's staring you in the face. And it's you gotta compose yourself. Kind of like how Cofield has. He just keeps doing the restart, and gets such a good restart that it hasn't been a real issue here, but now he's going to have Mitchell on his outside, and those guys have been the closest all night long.
And looking through the field of this top 10, in 6th and 7th, Laney and Thompson are on, I think, 11 lap fresher tires. Oh, almost 19, 20 lap fresher tires than the leaders. So those might be the guys that go, hey, I have the grip. You get out of my way. So this is going to be an interesting 5 laps remaining as we cross the line when the pace car goes off. And we do have 2 green-white checkers as well. So anything's possible.
I put myself on a ban. I'm not allowed to say anything positive or, remotely hinting towards the driver of the 34 machine. So I'm going to leave that to you, but we're going to leave it to this pace car to hand control over to John Cofield once again here and see if Curtis can maybe match him here on this start. Haven't seen anyone do it all night. Every time the restart has happened, they've taken off. Can Cofield do the same? And he gets away cleanly, pulls about a full truck length there. Elaine looking to the outside of Mitchell, going to tuck back in behind. Now we're side by side for P2. Bontrager and Mitchell side by side. Manella thinking about putting his nose in there. Elaine grabbing the wall. Just 5 to go. Going to be 4 this time around.
I mean, these drivers are going for it.
Yeah, as Cofield just wants to see everybody continue to battle each other and bunch up. He's just saying, please let me see that white flag. If I see the white flag, y'all do whatever you feel like after that, but just wait until then.
I mean, I'm looking at 3 wide behind them.
Yeah. Manella and Elaine with Aiden Laney.
I know TJ Allen right now is happy that those guys are battling behind them, but they are going for right now, getting tight into the exit of the corners. Big smack by Elaine right there, just like you said. And 4x4. The car is blinking out as well. Manella having a little internet difficulties. That's not what you want to see with 3 laps to go.
Absolutely not. As Mitchell is now within 2/10. He was 4, now down to 2. Has a little bit of speed going into 3 and 4.
Has a little speed coming around to 2 to go. Cofield in control. Mitchell 2/10 off. About a 10th actually. Has a good run. Looking at it, they're even matched on time, so it's really going to come down to driver skill. Who can have a better exit between 2 and 4? Looking at the back, Jamie Licky trying to fight. TJ Allen just loving that battle 2x2 behind him. He doesn't have any competition to worry about anymore. But they're going to come to the white flag real close, and it's going to turn up real quick here. But if that white flag comes out, it's it. Anything happens from there on. And we got Cofield coming to the white flag. Last lap of the Rowdy 200. Jonathan Cofield dominating all this race. Does he have the tires to hold off Curtis Mitchell? Does Curtis Mitchell have the tires to put attack towards Cofield on this? Does Bontrager benefit from a 1-2 crash and takes away the win? we're going to see coming into turn 3, Cofield hits the bottom, controlling the tempo, making sure that Mitchell doesn't have the run. And I think he has enough. Jonathan Cofield coming around in turn 4 in the Rowdy 200 at Nashville. Jonathan Cofield will be your winner for the GLR Charity Cup race here at Nashville.
As Bontrager going to drift it through turns 1 and 2. Curtis Mitchell threw it around into the inside or outside wall there. And that's probably just to blow off the last bit of frustration. You had a fast car there for Mitchell, but just could not get that one more spot. Cofield absolutely dominating, led over half the laps, 106 laps to be exact, and just never looked back. I mean, he was composed the entire night, and anytime he was back in the back, just picked off one by one and found his way back to the front here, and just absolutely putting on a clinic as he burns it down here on the start-finish line.
Yeah. And, you know, Jonathan Cofield isn't in victory lane tonight because of luck. That was definitely earned. It was strategic. He planned it out, and it was well executed by Jonathan Cofield. In iRacing, it's never just about speed. It's about consistency, tire management, and knowing when to push and when not to. But remember this, we're all in a race too. Every single lap, every single day is another lap. And just like racing, it takes discipline, experience, and strategy to move forward. That's where Vibrance Media comes in as one of our sponsors for tonight. They build tools designed to help you grow, improve, and thrive in your own journey and in your own race. If you want to learn more, visit vibrance.community or connect with Phil Ransom to get more information about Vibrance Media. Well, Jonathan Cofield comes away with the win. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to head on to our interview with the winner and a couple more drivers. Stick around. Well, coming into this race, I didn't have that many expectations, but the driver I picked to win this race did come away with the win with Jonathan Cofield. And are we going to look at the final finishing order, or are we going to go straight into interviews? Let's go right into the grid then. And looking at this, Jonathan Cofield started in 3rd position, but comes away with a dominating victory. Curtis Mitchell started 2nd and finished 2nd. Craig Bontrager with the pole, but ends up in that P3 position. Great race from him. TJ Lane, 6th position. Joe Manella in 5th. Chavis in 6th. Laney in 7th. Pendle in 8th. Thompson and Lipke to round out your top 10.
Chris Abert going to come 11th with Ray Massey in 12th. Chris Rude going to come 13th. Brian Bogner in 14th with Jacob Link in 15th. Kinder going to come in 16th with Stephen Ray in 17th. John Gowan going to be the first car a lap down in 18th with Jay Gisa in 19th and Ham in 20th.
And rounding out our back of the field, Craven finishing in 21st, Bill Mofield, my friend, finishing in 22nd, Cole with 23rd, Crittenden and Davis running out your top 25, Herman 26, and Michael Newton finishing in 28. Well, we're going to wrap it up and go to our interviews. think we're going to bring up our winner, Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan Cofield, Sam Yosef, Jordan Rockwell in the studio. Do you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Jonathan, like I think I told you before the race and during the race, I said, this is my guy to win this race tonight. One of the best truck drivers I know out there. Talk us through your strategy, especially with no stage breaks. Did you go for the long haul, or what were you thinking during this race?
Yeah, I definitely was going to go for the long haul. I really love races with no stages. Everybody can settle in. Track like this shouldn't have a lot of cautions, and just see who the best driver is. I stayed out a little too long on that first stop. They got about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of us, and it took longer to run them down than I thought it would. So I know those last couple of times we stopped, tried not to stay out too terribly much longer, so they wouldn't get too much of a gap on us. But fun race, man. Not a lot of cautions. Hope we raised a lot of money. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching you race as well, and I don't know, Jordan, if you have anything to ask Cofield as well.
Yeah, I do want to. I did get word that it will be $100 to your charity of choice, as well as you also received the cleanest, as you had 0x throughout the night. So you got 2 awards here.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I mean, phenomenal race there for you. I mean, you had a couple times where we thought you were going to get into some stuff because just being back in the field, but I mean, you just found your way through, got back to the front, and never looked back really.
Yeah, it got a little hairy there with all those cautions, a little 4 wide, 5 wide, some old tires starting in the front. I was trying not to make any enemies. I don't know anybody in here but the Goat Locker guys. Really appreciate the Charity Cup Series inviting us over and doing this. Hopefully next time we get a lot more drivers. But yeah, we're gonna send that money to Save 22. Vet. I won the. They sponsored our championship over at Goat Locker, and I won that, so it was only right. Had them on the banner, had them on the truck, painted that truck last night. So I figured it was only right, man, to donate that to them.
We appreciate you being here. And sorry, go ahead.
No, you're. I was just agreeing with Cofield. I think that's a great contribution right there. They definitely deserve it for all that they do.
Definitely. Yep.
Well, Cofield, great race by you, man. Love to see you dominate as always. But I'll get you during our truck season if you come back, hopefully. But great race by you, man, and good to see you out there dominating like usual.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate just like I said, everybody at Charity Cup Series letting us come over here. Everybody at Goat Locker for the guys that participated. Pat over at Goat Locker for getting with Curtis and making this thing happen. Like I said, my sponsor, Save 22, really appreciate them. Sim Shop, all my teammates at Bandits, and just any sponsors y'all have in here, and all the sponsors at Goat Locker.
Well, thank you, Cofield, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Well, we'll bring in P2 here with Curtis Mitchell. Curtis Mitchell, Sam Yosef, Jordan Brockwell, do you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Well, Curtis, me and Jordan were sitting here. We knew the battle for the win was going to be between you and Cofield. We thought that you may have the tires, but Cofield put up a staunch defense. Just walk us through those last 10 laps and what you were really thinking.
I really don't have any words to describe how talented Cofield was that run. I know early, kind of that third run after our second pit stop, I was trying to save. Thinking if we go green, I can save it enough where I have some pace on the guys, and we get a 2-tire stop at the end, put in maybe 30 laps of fuel and try and pull it out. But with all those cautions, I mean, it evened us up pretty good, and he knows how to bait you, and then he runs away with it. So I know he was messing with me a little bit there. I think on the last 5 laps, he missed maybe an entrance or 2, but he knew that I'd get excited, and I drove into it too hard, and he just was able to pull it off at the end. So huge credit to him. It's awesome to see the Save 22 get that $100 bonus with how much they're involved in Goat Locker racing. And overall, I couldn't be happier with how tonight went. I think it was really, really, really awesome.
Really awesome indeed. And Jordan, I know you know Curtis a little bit more. Maybe you can ask him something that we Goat Locker people don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel for one about the turnout? I mean, a ton of people here to mix the both the GLR and Charity Cup series, and you know how much I love this series as its self, and then having all the other guys from GLR pop in here to make a bigger all-star race, and I mean, just how do you feel about that alone?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think initially I was a little bit disappointed because I was hoping to do a little 20-on-20 tournament, and we didn't get as many guys as I was hoping for. But just kind of prayed that the Lord would give me peace to just focus on the guys that were here and make sure we put on a good event. And I think they did that. I think we had all of our bases covered with the rules and race control. Having Michael in there, that's a tough spot to be in. I mean, you're like an umpire in baseball, and no one likes you. So I think overall, I'm just blessed to be a part of this huge. I can't give enough credit to the Lord. Gets all the credit on this one. I am just the messenger on this. I don't know why I was given the opportunity to run this league, but until that door closes, I'm going to run away with this one and hope that I can honor the Lord and lead a lot more people to Him through this awesome experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that I want to point out is we have the chase for the Charity Cup coming up. It's going to start on June 14th to start doing some points for that as well. And anybody just kind of get it out there. Anybody that's listening or that may be in the GLR league as well that wants to hop in it as well. June 14th to August 30th. I want to say it's 2 every month. I think it ends up being 3 in August, but 2 races every month, and get some bi-weekly racing there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Hopefully we get some of these GLR guys in to join us. I think we got maybe 8 teams registered so far. And the nice thing about the team format is it gives guys the chance to still race with us this summer and compete for points even if they don't make every single race, right? They get to still rely on their team and have the ability to compete and participate and not lose progress if they miss a race or two and lose out on standings. So really excited for that, starting at June 14th. Once we hit the fall, it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go, how far we grow. But I know you got a lot of interviews to do here, so I'm going to shut up and let you guys do your thing. But I appreciate the opportunity to hang in here with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, I think our hard charger, he's made his dispatch from the server. So Adam Thompson was the hard charger, up 9 spots. As well as P3. I don't think P3 stuck around for.
No.
Yeah, I know he just joined the server, but he may not be in. So let's see if I can get him into the interview waiting room. Maybe you could hop over and talk to TJ. I know he's eager to talk with you guys. If you're willing to pull out the top 5.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm good with pulling that. Yeah, I'll pull up TJ, and thank you for popping up here and having a little chat with us, brother.
Last thing, obviously we had the hard charger for Adam Thompson. He'll get $25 for his charity on behalf of Great Lakes Sim. And then also we have the Langer's Auto Spa Cleanest Driver Award going to our top finisher here, Jonathan Cofield, with a 0x 107 laps led victory. I mean, absolute clinic. So $125 headed over to Save 22 and another $25 over to Adam Thompson's, which I need to remind myself of what charity he's running for. But really thankful. Really fun event.
Absolutely. Once again, thanks, Kurt, for all you do, and look forward to getting into that charity chase for the Charity Cup coming up next month.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you. Well, Curtis is great to talk to. I think Bontrager's in there. I think this is Bontrager right here. So we'll double check. Craig Bontrager, Sam Yosef, is that you?
Yep, Craig Bontrager here.
Craig Bontrager, haven't heard from you in a while, buddy. Come away with that P3. Talk us through those last 10 laps. What were you thinking? Did you think the win was possible? Were you going to send it in there? Like, what was going through your head?
I was rooting for Curtis to put some pressure on Cofield there and see if some magic would happen. I just didn't have the pace to get up there and challenge those two guys. They're just hanging right with them and seeing if Lady Luck would be on my side. But really great racing overall and pretty happy with P3.
Yeah, buddy. Like I I know you as a driver at Go Locker, you are one of those clean, consistent guys who always is going to make the smart decision. So I was definitely rooting for you, as well as Jonathan Cofield for a good finish. With this P3 finish and with these charity cup drivers, talk us through working around someone like Curtis Mitchell, Ray Massey, who we don't see on a usual. What was that experience like?
Oh, a ton of fun and a lot of respect for those guys. They run really strong pace, right? And when we get side by side, it's just they put on great racing. So I was trying to observe on these different runs. We had a nice long race. So I was trying to pick up what these guys are about and see if they had short run speed, long run speed, and it was a pretty even. That nobody was really pulling away at the end, or there was just different surges of we'd catch back up and then they'd pull away, and there wasn't really any clear indication of like, hey, if I really save my tires, I'm going to get these guys. At the end, we started getting those cautions, and it just became short run shootouts, and we were all pushing hard, and it all came out the way that it did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a lot of fun out there. Would have loved to be racing with you guys. But Craig Bontrager, we appreciate you spending your time out here for a good cause tonight. Anybody you want to thank or anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a super cool deal put on by the Charity Cup guys to put these two groups together. I'm a huge fan of Goat Locker. I'm not a veteran or a first responder. I'm just a massive fan of what these guys do. So. And now I'm becoming a massive fan of what Charity Cup Series does. So just really neat groups working together for a good cause, and putting on a great show.
Great show indeed. Well, Craig Bontrager with the P3 finish, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate your time here, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, Jordan, I'm gonna give you TJ Lane since he's one of your guys. Let you handle that.
Hey, TJ, it's Jordan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, man, you had an adventurous race there, man. You led some laps. You were up, down, around. 2 tires stop, I believe, there towards the end. Just trying to do anything you could to find a way towards that. Yeah. So, I mean, talk me through that race a little bit there, brother.
Well, we spent a lot of this race got delayed, to today. So we spent a lot of time practicing and testing and trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And, that first caution came out and then it went green. And, at some point in times you got to play certain types of strategy. And I had the speed in practice, but I missed it in qualifying. So, I had to change things up. And with everybody being so close, and you can't pass here very well. I had to try some sort of strategy. So I stayed out a little bit later on that first run. I could have stayed out a lot longer, like 10 more laps, but I felt like I was giving up too much time. So I came down pit road, and then we kept going green. So I'm like, you know what? This time I'm just going to run it all the way out and see where I end up. And when I came back out, I mean, I had 5 laps. Chris Pendell and I both had at least 5 laps to the good. Where most of everybody else I was talking to, they were gonna have to pit again. So if it was gonna go green, we were sitting pretty, But the caution came out, and then I had to immediately make a change. Something had to change. I don't know. I feel like if it would have went green for those last 40 laps on my 2-tire strategy, I'd have been eating dust. But with the cautions that kept coming out, it allowed me to kind of fend off and stay there and get a good run here.
Yeah, with the fuel strategy game there, I definitely, when all of that was transpiring, I was kind of looking at it thinking, these guys are right there on the edge of that good to go, might not be good to go, and it's going to be hard to, save if you were trying to run down Cofield for one, if you were, Curtis and all those guys that were right on his bumper. So it was going to be near impossible to save enough to make it. So I was definitely looking at that, and I was thinking, TJ might be cooking on something here.
I was trying. I'm always trying something. I got bid at Michigan. We had these last couple of races, and there's been cautions, so we try to save tires and stuff like that. And play a segment out in the middle of the race where we're slower than the whole field, so just so we can save a set of tires. And that caution never came out at Michigan, and it bit me, you know. So, but here tonight, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't know how things were going to go. I almost didn't even make the show. But we always like to come in here. We throw a lot of sport towards the Charity Cup Series and what Curtis has got going on over here, and he does a really good job at getting these things going and getting the guys in here running clean. I mean, I don't know how long that green flag lap or that green flag run was, but I feel like it's definitely the longest green flag run that they've had in the Cup Series. Maybe except maybe at Charlotte. I think they only had one caution at Charlotte, so it might be close.
Yeah, I know we've gotten into a couple of cases where we have kind of like how the end of this race was, where we had everybody bunched up, everybody got excited. You know, it's kind of hard to avoid that when you have such a long green flag run in between those, you know, start and finish, and then you get those cautions because you bunch everybody up and everybody's like, oh, the leader's right there. You know, I'm only 15. I'm only 15th, and I'm on fresh tires. I can get to it.
I mean,
But-
even at the end there with my 2 tires, you guys saw Curtis and I mean, we're on, I'm all battling him. I mean, him and I are very good friends, but the rivalry between us on track is the way it needs to be, because that's what pushes us to be faster. You know, if I go out and turn a quicker lap, then Curtis will go out, or Chris will, and then I'm like, okay, there's more speed, and we feed off of each other. But we overshot turn 1 and 2 multiple times, and it's like I feel like I probably could have had a couple more spots and been in a better position had I not overdrove. And Curtis too. I mean, Curtis might have even won the thing, but you know, it's just when you get towards the end of that race, and I was saving the whole time, the whole race I was saving, and that was the hardest I ran the whole race, and you know, it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the chase for the Charity Cup here coming up next month.
Yeah, you went right into what I was going to say. Is I look forward to, you know, you as one of those guys that I think is going to be really in contention for that cup there. I think it's what six or 7 races, I believe.
Yeah. The only thing I'm lacking is the teammates. It's a whole team thing over there, and I've got teammates to run. You know, they've been here. George will show up, and Chris will be here, and Jacob has been trying to make these races. He was going to be here tonight, but he's deployed in Japan and got called in because they got a typhoon coming. You know, so he didn't make the race tonight, and you know, it's. If I can find the right guys to place in, I worked with Stephen Ray and his buddy there with their tire wear. If I can find the right guys to put around us and we can get some top 10s, you know, we might have a good shot at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited for that, especially, you know, we switched from the 1 race a month to the, you know, couple races a month and add in the cup aspect. I think it's only going to ramp up the energy as well for some of the guys in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're still racing for, you know, good causes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely looking forward to that. And you know, before we get you out of here, brother, is there anybody that you want to shout out, thank, etc., you know, for tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Start out, you know, we were on our way to Charlotte last weekend when the news of Rowdy hit, and we spent that whole weekend down there. And you know, I know we all remember when Earnhardt died and what that all felt like. And we were able to go down there and be a part of that. And, you know, I just want to shout out to Brexton and his mom and that whole RCR. I mean, to have that stuff happen again is just, it's heartbreaking. And I feel like Brexton's going to end up being a cup champion, and we're going to be rooting him on the whole time. And I want to shout out Curtis. Curtis has been, these guys push me, Curtis and William George and Jacob and Chris Pendell and Critter. His name's not Critter, but it's Justin. I got to look because I just call him by Critter all the time, but it's Justin Crittenden. You know, all these guys were out running all the time, running officials. We're doing everything we can to stay focused and stay up and working on our tire wear. And I mean, I don't spend much time racing on the officials, and I haven't over the last couple of years, but these guys have pushed me these last couple of weeks to really get things rolling again, and I just want to thank them for keeping me going and keeping me positive on how, yeah, we all know how officials are, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to thank them. I want to thank my family, my buddy David's down doing cancer treatments in Florida. Pete Bellini is up in the UP going through cancer stuff. I want to thank him for everything he's done, and we'll see everybody here in a few weeks.
Absolutely, man. Also want to send our thoughts and prayers to them as well, and let them know we're thinking about them as well, and want to thank you for your time there, brother.
Thank you. I also got to shout out Tim and everybody else I didn't shout out. So sorry about that if I didn't get you, but we'll get you next time.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Thank you for your time, man, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Have a good one, fellas.
Well, TJ, Elaine with P4. We got one more person rounding out our top 5. Joe Manella, Sam Yosef, Jordan Bracco in the booth. You got a copy.
I sure do.
Well, Manella, this is my first time seeing you race, and you put on one hell of a show for me. You really worked your way through the field, had to go back a couple times. Pit stop strategy put you in certain positions, and somehow you found yourself fighting for that top 5 position at the end. Walk us through what was going through your head in those last 15 laps.
Yeah, so I mean, it was really difficult to keep speed and momentum through the corners. I hadn't ran the trucks. Excuse me. I hadn't raced in the trucks in probably about 2 months. So getting back in the trucks was a little difficult to kind of get used to. I came in late into practice because I had work. So it took me a little while to figure it out. But, once we kept having those cautions, I knew I was going to be in a good position to get a solid finish because I was really good on the short runs. So I knew as soon as they, caution and then another caution, I was just like, yes, keep them coming because I'll just keep, gaining the spot. Almost came away with a podium spot. I think off the last restart we had, I sent it down on the bottom and then ended up getting a little bit tight, and that allowed TJ and Craig to fully clear me. But it was difficult, but it was also fun. So I'm just glad to be able to come away with this top 5.
Yeah, top 5 indeed. I mean, I completely understand what you're saying. Like with this, how tough the track is to pass, and drivers driving different lines, and anything could happen at any moment, as we saw right up to the end with the cautions that were happening. And you just put on one hell of a show to make sure that you kept your nose clean. I mean, Jordan, you will run with Manal a lot more than I do. I don't know if you got anything for him as well.
I mean, me and Manella just got to work on our first broadcast together, a couple weeks ago, I think?
Yeah.
So still learning of the front row Joe, but, you pop in here last minute and, make a run for it. You come out 5th, man. I mean, it's got to be a ton of fun to be in such a large field as well.
Yeah, it is, and when Curtis reached out and said that they were looking for a few more guys to come out, and I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot, right? This is out of the normal for me. I usually do official races and a few league races, and when I had the opportunity to pick a charity and come out and try and get some donations towards that. Which my charity was Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So, I was given a shot to try and get as much money donated to them as possible. And also, being that this was, a tribute to Kyle Busch and the Rowdy 200, being able to get some additional money donated to the Bundle of Joy Fund was definitely, a deal breaker for me. It was one of those extra things that gave me that motivation to come out and give it a shot. So just thankful to be able to do that.
Absolutely, man. I mean, really appreciate you coming out and supporting. And Charity Cup Series, very important to me. And I love everybody over at Go Locker as well, with all that they do for all their charities as well, and everything for veterans, and worked a lot with them. So really thankful for you to pop into that, man. And before we cut you loose there, is there anything that you got that you want to say, shout out, etc.?
Yeah, so obviously first person I want to thank is God. The strength that I gain day in and day out, gives me the opportunity to continue to stay positive and keep pursuing things that I'm passionate about. So Next person I want to thank is probably going to be Curtis. For hosting such a wonderful series. I'm definitely going to be looking into coming on board when they decide to do the next set of series. So, and then obviously, my wife, my kids, they kind of support me. And I try and force her to watch the broadcasts, but she'll be reading her books, but she still gives me the support that I need to keep doing this. And thank you to you guys for doing the broadcast. Definitely a big thanks to Goat Locker for teaming up with the Charity Cup series and helping put on such an amazing show. And another thanks to my setup shop, Team Conti Sim Performance. They've kind of taken me under their wing, and I've learned so much from all those drivers over there, and just help build my community, because this NASCAR iRacing community is so big, and it's really amazing to see how well and how strong we can come together when tragedies happen, with especially with Kyle Busch passing. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. You got that right. The community definitely knows how to come together, and I mean, just the Charity Cup series alone shows you that, as well as like you said, the tragedy with Kyle Busch. But look forward. June 14th, Chicagoland starts the chase for the Charity Cup series. So
yeah, if I can be in it, I'm there.
all right, brother. Well, once again, thanks for your time, man. I'll be talking to you regularly over there in the other chats. So thanks again for your time, brother.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, Jordan, we heard from our top five. What a great race to round out a great cause with the Rowdy 200 between Charity Cup and Goat Locker. I had fun. I hope you had fun. Any last words for the broadcast?
I mean, just a phenomenal race from start to finish. I mean, there was a little bit of everything from start to finish. You had a little bit of a couple of quick cautions there at the beginning, long green flag run, green flag pit stops. Then you had the chaos towards the end once everybody got bunched back up. So if you're not entertained with that race, I don't know what will entertain you. And if I can take something from Rowdy, if you don't like that kind of racing, don't even bother watching.
Exactly. Well, my name is Sam Yosef. His name is Jordan Rockwell. Skylar Daly was in the booth tonight dealing with our shenanigans. So big shout out to Skylar. I appreciate everybody for coming out and watching this race. And if you're interested, check out Go Locker Racing. Check out the Charity Cup Series. 2 great organizations with 2 great causes. And I could not be more than proud to call this race. Well, like I said, we're going to call it a night. And we'll see y'all later.